Yo, it's your boy DZ, man. You already know it's not about the setback, it's about the get back. All right, today here we're going to talk about Sarah Boone. Now, Sarah Boone decided to play a game with her husband. With her boyfriend. She decided to play a game with her boyfriend, and I don't know how it came about, but she wanted to lock him in the suitcase to play a game. I don't know how she came up with this idea, but she had ill intentions when she came up with this idea. And her intentions were to lock him in the suitcase and never let him out. He begged and pleaded for his life and told her he couldn't breathe, and she still left him locked in the suitcase, and she went upstairs and went to sleep. He suffocated in the suitcase, and she got charged with murder. And she was found guilty. She was offered a 15-year plea deal for the second-degree murder, and she decided not to take it. And she was found guilty, and ultimately she received a life sentence. And I'm going to play the statement that she gave after, her conviction. But I want y'all to check this out.
For dragging me downstairs by my hair in the middle of the night just to sit next to him. For taking my car driving drunk with my debit card to buy more alcohol while I slept, even after I kindly explained the importance of my car to take my son to school foremost, me to work, and he to his batterers intervention classes and probation officer meetings, where I would be forced to sit for hours in the parking lot waiting for him. For causing me so much trauma and pain, mentally, physically, emotionally, I had to be hospitalized more than once. For destroying my reputation and integrity, for my M for murderer scarlet letter, not letting me feel safe to live, talk to other people, spend time with my son, have a job, friendships, simply go to the bathroom with the door closed, or go to sleep soundly or comfortably. I forgive George for lying, for him trying in so many ways, so many times, to end me with his terrifying love. I also forgive the Torres family, his mother and father foremost, also his 2 ex-wives and daughters, all for knowing who George was, capable of, and has done in the past, his history of violence and where he learned it, then to keep turning a blind eye when I would ask for help. All of his siblings, including Farrell Torres, who is now on his way to prison for stabbing the mother of their baby in the side of her head. For everyone who knew what George was doing to me, sometimes how and when, but allowed and enabled. I forgive them for caring too late. I hope they all ask themselves while quiet and comfortable in bed at night the uneasy question, what could I have done to stop this from happening to both of them? And after all the times Sarah tried to, by asking for help from all of us and so many times. Another great contributor of my gold is social media, with its greed, insensitivity, deception, obvious exploitation, and advantageous gain from my criminal case as a whole, and for sentencing me by anticipation as a result of ignorance and hate, conjured and fabricated by the organized crime that is social media, which condemned me in the court of global public opinion since the beginning. My family law case is the new prey waiting to be picked apart and pillaged from me being made infamous by social media in my criminal case. It simply seems I cannot forgive and be forgiven and move forward. Social media has made me a pariah. It has caused great oppression and undeniable disadvantages, especially by broadcasting and manipulating my cases online. In my criminal case, as a result, my opportunities to be given a fair, proper, and uninfluenced, successful conclusion was heavily depleted and poisoned. I forgive them. Also, all of the media tycoons for not having a life of their own, trying so desperately to make themselves seem so right by making me appear so wrong. Forgiveness for prejudgment, ridiculous theatrics, lies, making and taking blood money from my and others' misfortunes, accidents, and catastrophes. It's all over their hands and their keyboards. And even after all that's been said and done, theorized, hypothesized, scrutinized, and blasphemed in my case, still no one knows me. In the end, I forgive myself for not choosing my life sooner, for not being more brave, vigilant, bolder, and outspoken, stronger, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, for being hopeless, desperate, simple-minded, weak, and inexperienced. I forgive myself for not realizing I was enduring a life of domestic violence and that the vicious cycle of never ends. I had nothing to compare to. I've never been hit by a man ever before in my life. I was raised hitting a woman was wrong and should never happen. No excuse. I forgive myself for not escaping permanently, for not fighting back sooner to save myself, my son, my dogs, home, and car. Having 20/20 hindsight, thinking of everything I could have done differently or better to avoid the outcome. I think about this every day since. Also, of all the good days we had together, for him at least, while I was constantly in hyperdrive, high alert, and paranoid, making sure I did everything right all the time. If not, the great possibility I would be ended as George threatened me with so many times before. I forgive myself for falling in love with a monster, and no matter how grotesque he may become, I still loved him, hoped, and forgave. I tried breaking the spell so he wouldn't be a monster anymore. I saw who he was inside. George made me then, now, and always love him for all of his cracks also. We made each other our own brilliant pieces of art from the cracks and repairs. Unfortunately, not all cracks can be. In all of my forgiveness, George is my greatest lesson and will forever be a part of me. I think of him every day and still speak to him when alone on the rec yard. I ask his forgiveness and that he looks for me at the gates of heaven so I can tell him how sorry I am, endlessly, and that I never stopped loving him. In all of it and still. When I first came to jail, I put my mat under my bed and cried all day and all night for months, only falling asleep from being so exhausted with grief. I wrote him letters. I wrote his family and his daughters, apologizing for asking for their forgiveness. But due to fear that my life or sons would be jeopardized, I did not send. I am sorry. I cannot begin to fathom any of their grief and sadness. Please forgive me. Almost everything reminds me of him, seeing my stab wound every day especially. It truly reminds me that all I really did live through. George haunts me. He is everywhere. I believe because I do still love him, think of him, and miss his laugh the most. In my heart, I know he is with me and understands that this tragedy was not intentional. I hope everyone can, his family foremost. I didn't mean for this to happen. Please wholeheartedly know that, and always, I would never. Forgive me, George. Forgive me, Torres family. Forgive me, Judge Cranick. To the entire planet, please forgive me. I graciously and humbly ask for consideration, for forgiveness to be extended instead of judgment, for reconciliation and restoration for all of us to move forward. My apology is profuse and ceaseless. Allow me, please, to brush off the muck, wipe the blood off of my face, and fix the cuts in my skin. I ask for understanding in what really happened and for how long, for second chances, repentance, and redemption, to advocate for all domestic violence survivors, to help them overcome, heal, and still hope, always, to make their voices heard, to confidently walk with all of their scars on the outside and the inside, to help them not ever become a casualty of domestic violence as so many others, to stop the abuse and maltreatment before it's too late. There is always hope, and you can survive. In my soft-spoken conclusion, I ask this. Would I be the darling mother, celebrated woman of the year, if it were I who died? How many daughters, mothers, sisters, aunts, grandmothers, nieces, and friends have been because they did? I am a survivor. Learn to do good, seek justice, rebuke oppressors, defend the fatherless, plead for the widow. Isaiah 1:17, all-encompassing, protect the abused.
Ms. Boone, is that the end of your written statement?
Yes.
Now, gathering your thoughts, did you want to make an oral statement?
I do.
All right, would you do that now?
Yes, please. My statement, my verbal statement, is primarily to the Torres family, to the judge, to his daughters, I know you all know who I really am and that I did care for George and that I do still love George. I know you know that we had very many good days. And I take offense to the statement of being said that this is just for a moment. Right now with me here in the courtroom in front of you all, this is just for a moment. But the moments before that, in order for me to be here, is endless. It's everlasting. The scars that I have on the inside, my outside scars have healed except for my stab wound. But this has changed me as a person to see things differently and to understand things differently and to not be weak and just try to protect yourself, and forever, regardless of the time that I may receive from today, I forever will have this experience. I forever will have George Torres with me in my heart, in my mind, my body, and my soul. As he and I used to say that we were one soul split into two bodies. This is not just for a moment. It may be for everyone in this courtroom, but when I leave, this is forever. When you all leave, that this is forever. This is forever for everyone here and those who it matters to most. I am one of those who will experience this forever. I'm sorry. Words do not define my shame, and I don't know what else it is that I can say and convey to the Torres family how this happened. The ifs and whys and how really don't matter. It happened, and I'm sorry. Words cannot describe. And I hope that everyone can forgive me, the Torres family most of all, and his daughters, because I know what he meant to them. And I don't think that anybody ever understood what he meant to me and I to him. And I ask for forgiveness.
Ms. Boone, I have just one or two questions, if you don't mind. And you can speak on it if you want or not. But this is a unique case, and one of the reasons it's so unique is that you were in jail for 4.5 years prior to your trial. And I understand that when you were brought up as a child that you did have some spirituality in your family, some church, some religion.
Always.
But I understand that you got away from that. Did you have a chance during the 4.5 years to look back at your spirituality?
Absolutely. You know, everyone supposes that this is one of the worst experiences of my life, and it's actually been one of my greatest. If I were not beaten to death, I was going to work myself to death on the outside, and I never had time to get back into my Bible and to pray and to be with the Lord. And I, being here incarcerated, have had time, of course, to get closer to God, to reacquaint myself to Him and realize what it's all about. This is all temporary. And when I say temporary, I don't mean by being set free in jail or from prison or wherever else. It means being set free and temporary, meaning that you work for something higher, you work for God, that you strive for your crown to be placed upon your head by Jesus Christ by being said, "You have done well, my good and faithful servant." I've always tried to be a good and faithful servant. I was just a servant as opposed to doing all that I can when my family were alive and I was going through everything up to this point. I've become so much more closer to the Lord, and it's made me such a better person, and I hope that I am an example going forward of the Lord's light and can draw many people to me because of it.
Thank you.
Any follow-up, State?
No, I assume that was the final word.
Thank you. She can return back to council's table.
All right, so you just heard their remarks from convicted murderer Sarah Boone there on the stand, speaking just before her sentencing today. Now, Sarah was found guilty of second-degree murder in the death of her boyfriend back in October. That boyfriend was 42-year-old George Torres. This trial happening in Orlando, with prosecutors saying that Boone had zipped Torres up inside of a suitcase during a drunken game of hide and seek, hitting him with a bat and leaving him there overnight, where he died from asphyxiation. Now, on the stand there, you did hear that final comment from Sarah before she does officially become sentenced. And then you heard pretty much what her defense had been saying during the trial, which is that Boone was a victim of an abusive relationship with Torres and suffered from battered spouse syndrome. We do still have this, a tweet from a reporter down there covering the case, Stephanie Bufamonte, saying that inside the courtroom, sitting behind Sarah Boone, and she did not shed a tear and remained straight-faced as George's family broke down into tears. We're stepping away for a quick commercial break here at Live Now.
Okay, so they were playing a game of drunken hide and go seek. And I don't know what made this guy think that getting in a suitcase was a good place to hide. And I guess she made claims of him beating on her. That was the claim. She made claims. What's going on, Kenneth, man? I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you tuning in. I greatly appreciate you, brother. But she made those claims, right? That he was beating on her, abusing her. And she said that she wanted him to feel how she felt when he cheated on her. Because she said he cheated on her multiple times, and her locking him in a suitcase while he was screaming that he can't breathe was pure evil. It was pure evil. And they gave her a plea deal to 15 years. She turned the plea deal down after being in jail for 4.5 years. So that plea deal, she probably would have been out in another 6 or 7 years. She rejected the plea deal, and they gave her life. You got to really watch the type of people you deal with. And in this situation here, she was a piece of shit. The relationship wasn't working. Understand. They weren't seeing eye to eye. Understand. But to lock someone in a suitcase and to manipulate them in a game, and for him being a fool to even get in the suitcase, was crazy. But she left him in the suitcase and she hit him with a bat as he yelled that he couldn't breathe to get out the suitcase. It's pure, pure evil. And she got what she deserved. She got a life sentence for it. But what is crazy about this situation, she said that she forgave the family. So she's making it seem like it was the family's fault for whatever went on in their relationship, for whatever she said he did to her, and she forgives the family for what he did. Come on. Pure crazy. Pure crazy. And from what we see, she didn't take the plea deal and she got life. And we're going to check some things out inside the case. We're going to review some things inside this case. But she was pure evil, man. She was pure evil. And as she spoke about her remorse, she's only sorry because she was found guilty and she knew sentence was coming. But if she was really sorry, honestly, in this situation, you know, I'm not a plea guy, and I'm gonna be honest. I don't take pleas. I'm ready to go to trial. I'm ready to rock. But in this certain situation right here, she should have took that 15 years, knowing how he died, and knowing that she recorded the whole situation. She had the whole situation on video as he yelled. She laughed about it and went upstairs and went to sleep while this man suffocated in the suitcase. That's some deep stuff right there. That there is pure evil. Pure evil. And we see here, I'm trying to see, hold up.
Parts that I feel that
Yeah, I'm trying to see something here. This is pure evil, man.
everybody's laughed the most.
Yeah. You really don't know who you're dealing with when you get involved with people, especially if the relationship is so rocky, where she said she was being beat on. So she had plans on doing something to him the whole time. It's women out there that'll be in these relationships, pretend like they're in love, but at the same time be poisoning the person they with, wishing death on the person, and trying to cause death. This situation here, she really literally killed this guy because she wanted him to feel whatever pain she felt every time she found out that he cheated on her. That was deep right there. And at her sentencing, let's see what happened at the sentencing here.
Hey.
No, sir.
All right. After reviewing the motion and the state's response the same, the defendant's motion for a new trial is denied. Based on the court's review of the record, the court's participation in the trial, and the review of all the evidence, and the court's prior findings and rulings at trial and prior thereto. With that, I believe that we're prepared to proceed with sentencing at this time. The court has reviewed the pre-sentencing investigation prepared by the Department of Corrections. Are there any housekeeping matters that we need to address, Mr. Jay or Mr. Cacciatore, before we proceed?
Not from the state.
Are there any housekeeping matters from your side of the ledger, sir, that we need to address, Mr. Owens?
Judge, I do have.
Not at all. You don't know who will kill you.
Testify. Of course, my client's going to testify, but one of the
That's
four
super
late
deep,
witnesses
man.
wants to appear by Zoom. She lives up in Minnesota. I don't know if that's allowed.
We don't have an objection to that. One of our witnesses will be providing an impact statement would also like to appear on the court's virtual link as well.
Okay, so stipulated. If you need it, just let Anita know, and I could have her email it to you right now, the link.
We do have the link.
So triggering. I try not to close it all the way. I leave at least like 2 or 3 inches for the zipper. And it might sound crazy, but it just helps me. She really has flipped my family's life upside down. And I just hope that we can truly get justice for my brother. And I just want to tell the team thank you so much for everything they did. Thank you.
Thank you. State anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was his sister speaking. And, you know, that'll tear anybody's family up. I'm sure the family knew that they had a rocky relationship, but they didn't think that she was going to kill him. And she tried to blame the family and saying that him cheating on her was a reason for her to take it there. She had plans on doing this, and they went through. These are the things you got to worry about in a situation. You said, damn, that's really cold and deep. You don't know who will kill you. Now, you don't. You really don't know. You like, a lot of times people are sleeping with the enemy. People are having dinner with the enemy. People are going on dates with the enemy. The enemy is usually right there with you. Somebody that doesn't know you can't get to you. The person that you lay with every night, the person that you tell you love them, those are the people that you really got to monitor. And we see this over and over. When something happens in your household, the first person they go to is your significant other. If something happens to you, you pass away, that's the first person they go through. Because usually it comes from the person that you know. And in these situations, they only feel sorry when they got caught. They only feel sorry that she's in jail. Because whoever he was dealing with had her upset that much that she felt that she had to go to the extent to make sure that he was dead. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about this. Do y'all think he was beating on her to the point where he got what he deserved? Because some situations happened in the past where people thought that it was justified for what they was doing. You see, that makes me don't even want a woman to too close to me, for real. Blessings, my brother. You do have a voice. Yeah, man, it's sad that this happened. You know, it's real sad that this happened, man. And we already see she got a life sentence, so she's not going to be able to do this again to anybody, but she still has appeal processes, so she can have the opportunity to get back on her appeal. We don't know. But it's a messed up situation. And for her to have a 15-year plea deal and turn it down, she was real crazy with that. Knowing that she recorded the whole situation, she literally recorded this whole situation and laughed while he was locked in a suitcase. She was laughing. That's deep, man. It's deep. Yeah, it's real deep. If you in a situation and it's not working out and it's some physical violence, you want to get up out of there. Because you don't know in the heat of the moment how far you can go. She felt that she had a level of power and control when he was in that suitcase. And it really must have thrived her not to let him out. Because any sane human being would have let the person out when they started saying, I can't breathe, inside a suitcase. She made a statement saying that because his 2 fingers was sticking out the suitcase, or she seen a finger, that she thought he could breathe, and I guess he was okay. It's deep, man. I'm going to play some of those. Let me see what they say here. Let me see. Hold up. This right here is the 911 call when the police went out to the house. So we're going to play that too.
Where's he at? Who pronounced?
Oh, right there.
Did you call it? What time did you call it?
I got a time for it.
Hello there. Hi. You live here?
Yes.
Okay, I'll talk to you. We gotta get some information
I
from the
know.
fire
That's
department.
the property manager. I don't know if I should go tell him really quick or just so he
We'll take
knows
care of
what's going
that.
on.
Where is he at?
And you want that way.
Oh, don't worry about that. We'll take care of that for you, okay?
Can I go? I had a cigarette lit.
I'll get it for you, okay? Wait 1 second, okay?
I really need something to drink.
Okay, we'll
I got my Dr. Pepper on the counter.
okay, we'll take care of you. Give me 1 second.
No big about the home there,
It's Armand too.
I got a black
Put the time that you called it.
Yeah, I put that right there.
You got the time you called it? Okay, perfect.
You
You can't go back inside. What's going on? Who is he to you? Boyfriend?
Yes, for like 3.5 years.
What happened?
He and we drank last night. We had a.
Can you pass this to the around to the FD guys? Stop. They need to sign that for sure.
They're with me, so they're not.
Oh, they're not leaving?
I
Okay.
think I woke her up.
No. Each of them has to, because this might be a real scene. So each of them has to put their name
Normally
and
we all
initial.
I just put everybody.
Yeah, you call it working.
What's going on?
So
I just got here, so fill me in.
No problem. Like,
Yeah,
he and
I'm
I
sorry.
were putting a puzzle together. We've been doing some artwork together.
You are putting a puzzle together?
Yes, we have a puzzle that we started in there.
Okay.
We've been doing art, trying to take the stuff off the wall to make new art put up there, like having a good time with one another. But we're drinking. We had a bottle of wine last night.
Okay. Fine.
So then it's like, we decided to play hide and seek, right?
Okay.
So he gets in the suitcase, okay?
Who is this guy?
That's my ex-husband, my former husband.
How did he lives here with you guys?
No, I called him over here.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
So then he came over here.
Here, let's talk in private, okay?
I called you guys. I tried giving him CPR. The problem is I fell asleep. I fell asleep
When did you do CPR?
this morning when I found him.
Before you called?
Yes.
It's 1 o'clock right now.
I tried. I was awake, but I actually got out of the bed at like 12:30ish, whatever. So I came downstairs and I was like, oh, he's in the suitcase still. And that's when I found him and I took him out. I tried doing CPR and then I called him and then I called you guys.
Did he get here before the fire department got here?
Who?
Your husband or your
Yes.
ex-husband?
Yes.
Okay. Where does he live at?
Right down the street.
Okay. So you were playing and who zipped him up in?
I did, but then I fell asleep.
Okay. You're okay. I wasn't here. I'm just trying to figure out what
I
happened.
fell asleep, so I don't know if he suffocated or like had an aneurysm or a heart attack or
What
what.
kind of medical conditions does he have?
None that I know of.
Nothing that you know of.
None
You
that
didn't
I
take
know
any
of.
medicine
No,
last night?
no.
No medicine.
All we had was a bottle of wine. Literally, just a bottle of wine.
Okay.
Doing puzzle artwork. Then we decided to play hide and seek. That's all that happened.
Okay.
So I don't know if he had a heart attack or what in there. Like, I don't know what happened.
So how long were you doing CPR on him prior to you calling 911? You tried that all morning?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I called him while I was
What
doing
time
CPR.
did you start? Probably, you give me a rough ballpark. Here, let me fill this deputy in, okay?
Please, may I have my Dr. Pepper? I am
Hold on,
so
1
cotton
second,
out
1
right
second.
now.
Ma'am, and you can't talk to him until we get done with this, sir, okay?
Just don't leave, okay, Brian?
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, I'm
Appreciate
not.
it. Thank you.
I'm getting Lucas.
I know.
Do me a favor. Stand over there by that car. Give me 1 second. Just give us a second, okay? We gotta-
Somebody else on that call break.
It's on the counter.
I can't move anything from out of the house.
For 20 Bravo, but
Thirsty, like, I'm
still
making
Here, I want you to sit down because I don't want you passing out. This is probably a lot for you to deal
I
with,
need
right? Sit.
May
I don't.
water? Just water.
I can get you some water, okay? Just I want you not on your feet because I don't want you passing out on me.
Generator call.
I need water.
Okay, I'll get some for you.
222 Charlie, but you on it.
Hey, how are you? Okay, so you don't live here in this house.
No. I live down in Lake Renata Cove down there.
Lake Renata Cove. Okay.
Yeah.
So kind of tell me how you came here today, or
Well, I had been calling.
come down here. We got to talk.
I've been calling since.
You've been calling this your ex-wife or current wife?
Yes.
Okay.
No. Ex-wife. We've
Okay.
been divorced about a year and a half.
Generator 220 Bravo.
About 11:30 is when I started calling to
Go ahead.
find out because this is supposed to be her day.
Can
To,
you give me
follow her child.
1764, please?
Okay.
She's generally not very good about always doing it. She tends to
10-4.
drink.
They called back and said
She
she
has
was
a bit
still
of a
there,
problem
or
there.
she came back. At the
So I was
post
calling to
office,
find out if she was going to be getting him or not today.
From school.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I started calling like 11:30, called every half hour or so, and then
She was back inside the lobby.
finally got a hold of her
I'll call
at
back.
12:49, which is when she told me what was going on and if I'd come over here. So I came over.
She called at 12:45.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or 12:49.
12:49.
Got over here, told her she needed to call 911, get somebody over here, and then basically she said she needed to go outside, have a drink and a cigarette. I walked back out the house because I didn't really want to
Who
be
called?
in there.
Did you call or did she call?
Well, I called. She called me back when I was on my way to make sure I was coming over. But I called her
Give me 1
initially.
second, okay?
But I called her
Do
initially.
you have water in your car by any chance?
I don't think so.
Nothing? Okay.
No, I don't.
Okay, so she called, you get over here.
I called her first.
Okay.
Trying to find out if she's going to be at Lucas. That's when she told me everything was going on. I got my stuff together, put the puppy up in his crate. When I was starting to drive over here is when she called me to make sure I was coming, and then I got over here right after
Did you
that.
go inside and see, and then?
I walked inside the front. I didn't see the little front tile area.
Come on, step this way.
I saw legs. I didn't really want to be in there around it, so I told her.
Well, just for the sake of the crime scene, I want to know if I were to find your footprint, it would be because you went this far into the house. So did you actually make into past the threshold?
I don't think I ever made it to the carpet. I think it was just in that. I've been over here before.
Right. Yeah.
But no, I don't think I stepped past that tile area.
Okay. So
I don't think I touched doorknob. I don't think I touched anything in the kitchen. I don't know if that really matters.
Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty much the gist of what you have. Well, sit tight for us. We're gonna make a few phone calls and then we'll go from there. Do you know if he has any medical issues or?
I don't.
Okay, but you've met him before.
I've met him before. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They've got a whole fun history.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. You guys have called over here quite a few times.
For the two of them?
Yeah, he's been arrested like I think 5 times for against her. So.
Really? Okay, I'm not familiar with. I haven't been here personally. So they have
he's currently on parole because of it. So.
Because of domestic violence with her.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Last time he got whatever it's called, like retrial something or other. He had to go to a domestic violence class.
Okay.
I know he was doing it, a parole officer, stuff like that. But I mean, like every time she'd have him arrested, the next day she was trying to get him bailed out of jail. So I don't know what it is.
Oh, she's getting water from this tap. Probably gonna pass out on us. Okay. Well, listen, please do me a tight.
Oh, no.
I'll make a few phone
not a problem.
calls.
I mean,
where's your kid need to be picked up?
Lakemont Elementary.
How soon though?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
I
Okay.
normally leave out.
Let me try and get this going for you because I know you need that. Car's over there. Martinez.
So she's acting like everything is going to be okay when she first gets encountered by the police, as in, I think she thinks she's not going to jail. This man died because of her. Wow. Check this out.
His first name?
George, J-O-R-G-E. J-O-R-G-E.
J-O-R-G-E. His birth date?
2/13/78.
And this is the boyfriend.
Yes.
How long?
3.5 years.
Living together that whole time?
Yes.
Okay. And your last name?
Boone.
Spell it.
B-O-O-N-E.
First name?
Sarah. S-A-R-A-H.
Birth date?
10/10/77.
So, you've had a second to kind of collect yourself. Tell it to me again. You guys were playing last night, drinking a bottle of wine,
Putting puzzles together, doing
doing
artwork.
puzzles, artwork. Okay.
Had a bottle of wine and then decided to play hide and seek. So he
What
gets,
time was that? Do you remember?
I mean, I know that I was in bed probably by like what, 12:30?
Okay.
Well, I went upstairs at least and I fell asleep.
Okay.
Forgetting that he was
So
in
you
the
guys
suitcase.
were playing the hide and go seek.
Yes.
And at some point you put him in the suitcase?
No, he got in the suitcase. So he thought it would be funny to be put in the suitcase. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to joke with you and I'll zip you up and make him, squirm a little bit, whatever it is. But then I fell asleep. I fell asleep.
Where was the suitcase?
Right
When
where
he
it
got in
is.
it? Right down there?
Yes.
You zipped him in there?
Yes.
Thought it would be funny, a little
It
joke.
was. We both were laughing about it.
Okay.
And then I fell asleep
Where did you fall asleep at?
upstairs.
In your bedroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Totally forgetting that he was in the suitcase still.
Okay. And then you came back downstairs?
This morning, or this afternoon, yes, when I got up.
Ballpark, what time?
12:30-ish. I was awake, but I totally forgot that he was in the suitcase. He can tell you there's a lot of things that we have been going through. Jobs.
Yeah, he did tell me.
Life, all that good stuff. So I just totally forgot.
So you began to do CPR on him?
Yes. Yes.
About
And he
what time
gurgled,
this morning
like he
did you
gurgled.
start doing that CPR?
No, it was the afternoon. It was afternoon because I was awake, but then I finally decided to come downstairs at like 12:30-ish, whatever it is, and I was like, I forgot he was in the suitcase, and he wasn't moving, nothing was happening, so I unzipped him, took him out and started doing CPR on him. He was on his way over here. I called you when he got here.
Once he got here, you called us?
Yes.
Okay.
And air was coming out, and he was gurgling, but I could just tell by looking at him.
But you knew how to do CPR. You were doing that on your own?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the person that was on the phone with me also, I counted with him doing.
And he's got no medical? He doesn't take any medication?
I don't know. I don't know medical-wise. I know he doesn't take any medications whatsoever.
Okay.
The only thing, like I said, I don't know if alcohol had something to do with it, but we had a bottle of wine.
Okay. All right. Here, I want you to sit back down because I don't want
Can I have one more sip of water, please?
Yeah, go.
Denver, Signal 29, residential, audible, 1303 Island Bay Drive.
I'll do what I can to get you a cup because I don't want you to have to keep doing that.
Maintenance should have a proper to cancel the indication for the front door. 32 at 37. The motor unit on the channel.
The cups are like right there.
044 motor unit.
Sit right here. Don't talk to the ex-husband right
now.
now.
I won't. Can I have a cigarette, please?
Ma'am, I can't take anything out of the house.
It's on the back porch.
Nope, all of it. It's secure, okay? I'll try my best to get you what you need, okay? Maybe one of these deputies has a pack from someone, sit down and I'll try and get you what you need, okay?
Just cut, please.
Okay. I don't want you on your feet.
You want a camera still?
Yeah.
Where's the place to talk about?
Want to talk over here?
The officer must be filling her in on that they're about to arrest her because this is a crime scene. It's no way she can justify this man being locked and zipped in a suitcase and her going upstairs falling asleep. She killed this man because they had a domestic relationship. It was bad. And she kind of probably had this plotted already. Once he got in the suitcase, she already put in her mind that.
After we got divorced.
It's
Check
still
it out.
Boone. Okay.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
your first name?
Brian, Brian.
Brian. And your date of birth?
52775.
And your child is in school right now. He's not here with you.
No. He's
Okay.
in school.
He's in school. How old is he?
This will be a fun one to explain. He's 9. He's third
I
grade.
can't even start with how you would explain something like this. Okay. Sixth grade, you said?
Third grade.
Third
He's
grade.
9.
Third grade. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So sit tight for us. I'm sorry it's so hot.
It's
Maybe
okay.
the middle of that would be a good spot to stay in. So we'll take it from there. I'll keep you updated.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, thank you.
South and 221 Alpha unit check. 4 pounds, 3 Central. 1012 and 1332.
Want to do this now?
Oh, I don't know.
Did we get that dog by any chance?
He's sleeping under the...
Oh, poor thing. So your backyard's not fenced? Okay. Because we put him in the backyard and I guess he knew to...
I'm sorry?
Your dog. We thought the backyard was fenced.
The dogs are outside?
No. We have them contained.
One's deaf and one's blind.
Okay.
That's why I was making sure they were under the table.
Nope, that's yours. So we just been... Wait for us to get the instructions on what to do next. You got some water, good, okay.
Can I please just have a cigarette? They're on the back porch.
Not right now, we can't have you go and get anything. Why don't you sit in the shade? You're okay right there? Or maybe a little closer here where the shade is?
You're still on?
Yeah. Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're getting up left-handed today.
Oh no, you're in 24 right now. What in the world?
23 unit check.
I'm like, nobody's going up there?
I heard silence. I said 220. I was leaving Econ in 50. Just gonna go get me a sub. And then I said, well, I need to go to that.
243 Delta unit check.
Am I able... Can someone ask...
1334.
I know you said... Wait a minute. My ex-husband buying that cigarette and everything.
We can't let you guys communicate right
I
now.
know this was last week. Ask for one.
You want me to get a cigarette from him and bring it to you?
That's okay.
I could probably do that.
Ask for a lighter. Thank you.
No problem.
I was going to have him arrange childcare.
Okay, good. For the child in school up the street. Okay.
Is my name on there yet?
No, sir, it's not. I need to get her on there too, and him.
Yes.
So they're en route already, probably?
Did anybody call him?
No, you want me to call?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were calling. All right, let me get homicide. All right. Okay, let's see.
Now, the cop is contacting homicide. You already know what homicide is. Those are the detectives that come out when there's a murder. That's homicide. When they come out there and investigate this situation, and she admits to zipping him up and locking him in the suitcase, you already know what it is. Everything is yellow taped off. You know when that yellow tape come out, what it is. And she's sitting there thinking that it's going to be okay. These are the last moments of her freedom. She's concerned about the dog, when you should be concerned about what you just did.
It's natural. You're nervous. You have your anxiety. You're scared, right?
I don't know how to explain it to you.
It's okay. You don't have to.
I don't know how to. I'm just waiting for whoever, so.
I could tell you this. I'm going to be here just as long as you are, right? Including my... It'll be a while. I'm welcoming this breeze right now. It's kind of warm. All right? So just bear with us.
I know.
All right?
If you could, like, give me whatever updates or anything that you know of, that's just how I work, so I know, like, kind of what...
Well, let me look at my computer, see. We already got a detective on his way. He's on the screen. Okay. No, ella quiere lavarse las manos con... Honey, that's my corporal. Let me pick it up.
Okay. The homicide detective has pulled up, and they sent a woman. They sent the woman homicide detective, and they got a few of them now. And, you know, they're all going to put their heads together on this situation. If you're in a domestic violence relationship, get out of it. It might go too far. If you're in a situation where there's physical abuse, remove yourself. It can get worse. Because she's claiming that it was physical abuse, but this is what happened.
You get enough water? No, if you want to stay seated, I don't want you getting lightheaded. So remember I said the detectives were going to come out and talk to you and go from there. You know what I'm saying? They're here. They're going to ask you a few questions and then go from there, okay? All right.
All right, sir. My name's Chelsea. My partner, Scott. To my understanding, you reside here?
Yes.
Okay. Is it just you,
And George.
Okay.
And I have a 9-year-old. It's 50-50 with Brian, my former husband.
Your former husband. Okay. But you reside here with George, and then your son lives with you, or there's 50-50?
Yeah.
Okay. So from what
Rodriguez
has told me, she explained last night that you guys were drinking a bottle of wine, and around midnight, you decided you guys...
12:30ish, yeah.
Okay. You guys decided to play hide and seek.
Well, we were playing hide and seek, and then...
Was your son home at the time, or...
No.
Okay.
No, with my...
Ex.
With Brian.
Okay.
Decided to play... We're just stupid like that. Like, sure. We were putting puzzles together, we were doing artwork. You can see the puzzle that we finished in there, and then the artwork, and then decided to play hide and seek, just being stupid.
Okay.
So he decided to get in the suitcase. So I thought it would be funny to, and he was laughing about it too, to dip him up in there. I go upstairs and fell asleep. So this morning or this afternoon when I actually got up out of the bed, I thought for sure he was downstairs on the laptop because he was being really quiet. But then I came downstairs and I'm like, where is he? Like, and then that's when I found him.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Okay. And then you weren't sure about if you woke up this morning.
It was afternoon. I mean, I was awake.
Or this afternoon.
But I just didn't want to come downstairs. So I just laid in the bed for a little while. And then I eventually came downstairs and was confused about where he was. And then I was like, oh my God, he's in the suitcase still. So I pulled him out and I stretched him out and I started to try to do CPR on him. I called you guys. Well, I called Brian.
Okay.
And then as soon as he got here, which is 30 seconds down the road, I called you guys.
Okay.
And the person on the phone had me do the compressions continually still and count with him until you guys showed up.
Okay. And so as a part of our investigation, we obviously have to go inside the house. We have to look at things. Are you okay with us going in the house and looking at things?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And forensics, so we have to have our forensics crime scene investigators come out. Are you also okay with them coming inside, taking photographs and
Whatever you need to do.
Okay.
Can I ask, is Brian, I'm sorry, George, was he diagnosed with any kind of medical history?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't take drugs. I mean, we'll have the occasional bottle of wine here and there, but I don't know, like...
That was going to be my next question. So you guys don't normally drink? You just drink once in a while, or...?
Well, I'm going to say, like, okay, I guess normal drinking is, like, we will have, like, a glass of wine or two, like, while we're cooking dinner. Sure. Here, and we'll play a board game with him. I mean, little games are in there. Okay. But, I mean, it's not, like...
A couple of beers a day?
Well, but I don't understand, though, like, for the little bit that we had, like, not had anything to even do with it. Like, I don't know if he had a heart attack or a stroke or an aneurysm or what happened to him. I don't know.
And were you guys together all day yesterday?
Yes.
Okay. Here?
Yes.
Like, neither of you left the apartment yesterday?
I think he drove up to the convenience store to get cigarettes.
Okay.
But, I mean, you can walk there.
Does he have any history of using any drugs? I know he doesn't now, because you said he doesn't, but...
I don't know.
As far as you've ever known him, you've never seen him...
No. I mean, he's from Philadelphia, and he grew up in Philadelphia, and then he went to Massachusetts, and then from Massachusetts he came down here. So I don't really know, like, a whole lot of, like, medical history or anything.
How long have you guys been together?
Almost 4 years, like 3.5 years.
You guys been living here the whole time?
Yes.
Okay. He's never been to the doctor or to the hospital during that time?
He and his brother got into a really bad argument at one point, and he had to have facial reconstruction. But he has been in the hospital from that, and then I talked him into going to see, like, a regular physician so he could get just, like, a regular, like, checkup thing. Yeah. But there were no red flags.
How long ago was that?
The surgery or the doctor?
Both.
The surgery, I think, was at this point, what, 2 years maybe? 2.5 years. The checkup was probably a good 2 years, too.
Okay.
And the suitcase is still in there?
Yep.
Is it normally stored down there? Did you guys travel recently?
No, he was going to start putting some of the, what do you call it, donations in there. So that's why,
That's why it's out?
Yes.
Okay. You guys didn't recently travel somewhere or anything like that?
After you zipped them up, did you move the bag around and mess with them at all, or you just zipped it up and walked away
and I
laughing?
both were laughing about it, but I went upstairs and I fell asleep.
Okay. But what position was he in when he went in? Was he sitting on his rear end and his head up and he just kind of bent over?
Okay, so like this is the suitcase. Like this was his head and then his knees right here and his feet were down.
So he was laying on his side?
Yes. Yes.
You just closed the flap and zipped it around him?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe we were playing.
Understandably, okay.
So he said that I needed to tell you guys about his family. Like, who do I talk to about that?
We're gonna do that once we walk through and see. Yeah, we're
not going anywhere. We're gonna be here
just telling you, like,
yeah, this is gonna be a while.
I'm afraid for my life. I want you to know that. I am afraid for my life. His family have never liked me. I'm the blue-eyed white devil, is what they call me. So they've never liked me. They've never taken me in. They've never accepted me. I'll put it that way.
Have you called any of them?
We talked to his daughters yesterday.
No, I mean, like, about this. Does
No.
anyone know? Okay.
That's
So
why
no one's going to know until we will be making that notification. So
they're going
it's
to kill me.
Okay,
Do
well,
they live local?
Yes, they're down the road. They're going to kill me. His kids are going to kill me in Philadelphia. They're going to kill me. This was not intentional.
Okay.
And they're not going to understand that. They're not going to accept it.
we're going to do a thorough investigation, and we will definitely make sure that you don't feel scared when we leave here, okay?
And
When we
my
leave.
9-year-old.
Well, he's at school, he's with your husband.
I know. Well,
ex-husband.
Your husband said that, or your ex-husband said he made arrangements for your 9-year-old to be picked up.
Oh, okay, Mom. Probably. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're going to go inside if that's okay.
Yes, please, but can you guys just keep me posted
Of course.
so I know what's going on?
Yes, ma'am.
And don't.
All you have to do is get their attention if you have a question or you need to talk to us. He's standing right there. She'll be right here.
Yeah. Okay, but will you guys tell me, like, so you're telling me, like, you won't call whoever it is without telling me, right?
No.
I mean, I have all their phone
And we're
numbers if
not
you need
calling,
them.
we're not making phone calls. We're actually going to speak to them in person.
Yeah.
We
That'll
are.
be later
They're
on.
going to, okay.
It'll
You'll
be
know
later.
prior to us making any
I'm
contact.
not going to be here.
Okay.
They're going to kill me.
Okay.
We'll address all of that, okay, before we leave. Okay?
This was,
Okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Just stay seated, okay, Sarah? I know you're panicking, okay? Just relax. We'll come and talk to you. We'll keep checking on you.
Yeah, I mean, she knows she messed up. So, yeah, she's having a panic attack. And she's worried about his family doing something to her. And this man is dead. She's not paying attention. She's not reading the room. She doesn't understand that she's about to go to jail. And she done made the mistake of her life. She said the family didn't like her. She said the family called her a blue-eyed devil. And I think he's Spanish. His last name is Torres. From Philly, but the family doesn't like her.
They're coming out now. I'll get you somebody, okay? She wants to say something. She wants to talk. Come on. Yeah.
Well, we're
you don't
here,
know
so
anything, though, like, why or how?
So we will not know the answer to that because we're not doctors. So what's going to happen is he's going to go to the medical examiner's office and he'll have what's called an autopsy.
Yeah.
That'll be first thing tomorrow morning. I'll know a lot, hopefully a lot more tomorrow morning as far as him. But I cannot, there's no way I could say how, why.
So just by looking at him, like, why is he purple?
Oh, that's normal when someone passes away. Lividity, you turn.
as soon as the heart stops beating, the blood starts to settle to the lowest points of the body. And then it just comes very pronounced. So that's just called a suffocated. It happens every night.
I'm, like, really scared. I want you guys to know that.
Look around. We have all these deputies here, so while we're here, nothing's going to happen to you. Before we go and make any notifications, you'll have plenty of time to leave or do what you need to do. Whatever you need to do. Okay? And we can talk about that more in length. But, yeah, it's not going to be a surprise.
Real quick, and then,
But, like, I don't, like, this was totally, like, not intentional. Like, that's what I'm scared about, too. Like,
we'll have all the answers. We'll have a lot more answers tomorrow after medical examiner looks at it. Like she said, what you're seeing here is common. This is us coming out to the scene. Yeah, his age, no real medical history that we know of. For him to have passed away, we come out and we do an investigation. We come out and do an investigation. Medical examiner's office will be sending people out. This is what we do. If he was 75 years old and had a history of heart condition, we wouldn't be here.
I just don't know what I don't know what it is.
Exactly. And that's what we're here to find out. We're just here to get the answers. The answers that you want, the answers that his family's going to want.
I just really want to see my son. Like, I really need to see my son. Well, I mean, I know I can't go anywhere, but...
No. Right.
So, do I just, like, sit out here and wait for you guys?
If you would, yes, please.
Is anybody else having to show up, or everybody's here that needs to be here?
My team's here that needs to be here. The medical examiners will show up when we call them, but we're not ready for them yet. So they're going to take him, they're going to take some photos, take him, but that's towards the end of it. And they'll be called well in advance when we're ready for them, but we're not ready for them at this point. So we won't be calling them quite yet. Okay? So like I said, I got to go do some paperwork. They're going to chat with some people, and then we're going to come back and talk to you if you're okay with that.
Yes, please.
So just give us a little bit more time. Like I said, I need to go and do that, and he's going to go do what he needs to do.
But do you guys tell his family, like, today or after tomorrow?
We have to. It's the law.
We have to go and make contact with the family.
Yeah.
They have to be notified.
Once our investigation is pretty much complete here, once we leave here, we will be going to...
But again, you'll know. We're not going to just go and do it without you knowing. You'll know. We'll talk to you prior to doing anything like that.
But how, I mean, I understand what you guys and how you do it, and, you know, so, but, like, what do you just tell him? What do you tell his parents? Like, what's the reason he passed away?
We tell them what we know at that point.
Yeah.
We tell them the truth.
And that we're going to be waiting for the autopsy results, and I will be at the autopsy in the morning, and hopefully the doctor will be able to give me some of what they think and see.
Yeah. We'll give them their number. They can contact them and get it from them.
But yeah, they're gonna know what we're here, what we're investigating, and that
they're gonna think I killed him.
Why would they think that?
They always have said that. They've always have said that.
What have they
I told you it's because I'm the blue-eyed white dragon. That's what they call me. Because they don't want him with me. So he's basically just not really been around his family because he chooses me over them. Even after I have encouraged him numerous times to go over there and see his family. They've never accepted me, and I have always been really unforgiving, I'll say that, where they've never accepted me, and everybody in his family has started to kick my ass, so, especially his sister. He had to pull her off me one time.
Do you have somewhere safe that you can go tonight?
Both my parents are deceased, my grandparents are deceased, and my aunt and uncle are deceased. I got nobody. I have a brother that's in the Marines, and I've got another one that's in jail.
Unless the brother that's Marines, is he local?
No. Well, he's in Altamont, but I think he's doing whatever Marine thing he's doing. But the only way...
Your phone's inside, correct?
Yes.
Does he have a phone?
No.
He doesn't have a phone?
He used my phone.
He uses your phone?
Yeah, we did it
share
together.
phone.
So, the only place I could go is over to Brian's house. So, I don't think he'll have a problem with it.
Okay.
So,
well, like I said, we're not going to leave here. If you do not feel safe, you're not going to leave here with you not feeling safe, because then we're liable.
And then his ex-wife in Philadelphia.
Well, she's in Philadelphia, but yes.
Shoot. There's going to be a funeral.
Right. That you're talking like days and weeks.
No,
I'm talking right here, right now. So let me do my investigation. Let me go do this paperwork that I'm talking about, because we can go back and forth about what ifs like all day long.
I know, sorry.
I promise we're not going to leave here for you and you not feel safe, okay? I promise. Please.
Okay. It's just, I don't even know what to tell you.
It's okay. Just take a seat, have some water, give us a few minutes, let us do our thing, and we'll be back to talk to you, I promise, okay?
Like you said, if you need us again, just let them know.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Martina, do you need to
Yeah.
go ahead and type?
Okay.
Sit down and type and keep like eyes on. Do you have anyone in here?
There's nobody here, just me.
Okay, that's fine. You're right there, right?
Yeah.
Sit there and take. You're fine. I have relief coming, so just get taken.
Okay, now that was the video of the detective showing up to the house. And she thought that, nothing was going to come out of that. She was real concerned about the family. She was more concerned about the family doing something to her than her getting in trouble for it. Yeah, she was totally concerned with the family. And they dropped the interrogation tape. Let's see what we got here.
Not touched him. I have not touched him. I have not touched him.
Then how would you get those injuries?
Tell me and we'll both know. I have not touched him.
Yesterday, when we took photographs of your overall body, and they did the buccal swabs, did they go under your fingernails?
No.
Okay. Are you willing to let us
Absolutely.
swab underneath your fingernails?
Go for it.
Okay.
I have no idea, and I don't want to seem out of sorts, but I have no idea. We had a good day.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good day. We've had good days lately,
Mm-hmm.
even considering everything that's going on with our jobs and life in general and ex-wives and everything. It's been good. Like, I don't even know where this is coming from.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
said
even
the
know.
last physical was probably, you said, I think, what, a month ago? Where you
Maybe.
got the injury, right? You said that was a
I'll
month
say
ago?
a few weeks, give or take, yeah.
A few weeks. That was the last, physical altercation between the two of you? Yeah, you said a month ago he hit you with a curtain rod.
Yeah, with a curtain rod. That's why I can't believe you guys didn't take that either.
Wow.
Like, we've been good. I don't know if, it's since the last time he got out of jail. Like, we've been good, and he's been having his classes
Mm-hmm.
and seeing his probation officer, who's amazing. So,
What do you mean by good? What's your definition of good?
the probation officer,
No, you said you guys have been good. What's your definition?
I've been good. I don't think you all understand. He comes at me all the time. He comes at me. So it's either I flee or try to go upstairs and go to sleep. That's usually what it is. And I don't know if you talked to Brian about any of that, but most of the time when I flee, I go over there. So.
Right, but you're saying that you guys have been good, and when I asked you yesterday, the last incident that you could remember was the curtain rod incident, which you said was a month ago, so.
Give or take.
Right. So what do you mean by he comes after you?
He gets belligerently drunk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you all have looked through my phone yet and seen any of the pictures and the videos that I have taken.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, I started documenting everything.
Okay.
So you all will see in my pictures bloody fingers, split foreheads, he split my nose. I've got this.
Right.
I don't know if Brian told you about it, where I had to have I had one really bad surgery, but then it got really, 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 really bad, where I had to go 4 or 5 more times afterwards for them to tend to it, from him poking me in the back of the leg.
Right.
So it's...
Then why are you still with him?
Everybody asks me that. When I tell you guys this, I really love him, I do, and I feel like I can help him. I feel like I could help him, which I did, because he came a really long way from where he was in Philadelphia to moving back to here and to dealing with everything else that he's been dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
I've really helped him. I've bailed him out of jail, 3 times. I've gone to every single hearing and every single arraignment, everything that I did for him. Gone to see all his public defenders, go to the state. I've gone to the state. I did everything for him because I'm trying to help him, because I had hope in him. And he was trying. He was really trying. And then he starts to think about things, and I think he gets overwhelmed, and then it's the next thing I know, he's drinking. So it's oh man, I know where this is going to go, so I'm going to go upstairs and read a book. or I'm going to go for a bike ride, or I'm going to do something else, where I don't want to drink. I don't want to drink. The occasional wine, whatever, or if it's a weekend, that's when you have a good time. You don't have to wake up the next day. I have to wake up the next day and do things. I have to tend to Lucas. I have to take him to school. I have all this stuff to do. He doesn't know how to, I guess, maintain himself, where I can do 50 things at once and still know the 50 things more prior that I need to get done. He can't process like that. He didn't process like that, so he would literally, not literally, but have smoke coming out of his ears. So the next thing you know, he doesn't want to deal with it. I'm going to go get something to drink. So the majority of the time, I would hang out outside or do something else because I don't want to drink. And every time, his job broke his heart. And it made me sad because he had so much pride in his job. And the store that he took care of so much totally went downhill. And that broke his heart because he had put so much work and effort into fixing it up. And his manager was awful and basically gave up on all of the employees. So I think that had a huge bearing on why he would drink so much. His ex-wife is bonkers. She was all over him all the time. Send me money, send me money, send me money. How can I send you money when I don't have a job? And he's still trying to take care of me and Lucas by paying a bill here or there, getting some groceries. So he always had something on his mind, which is why, again, I got the puzzles and the paint to try to get him off of it so we don't have a drink, or he doesn't have a drink. So when you all see my phone, you can see all of the damage he has done to me and the videos of him smashing my television because he's belligerently drunk. Where most of the time, I just don't want to be there. And I try to help him. I try to calm him down. Eventually, he just passes out.
Well, yesterday it made it sound like you guys were just drinking like a glass or two. Like, yeah, you obviously had the bottle, but you told me on recording, like, that you were not drunk, he was not drunk, you guys were having a good time.
I can't get drunk. Number one, I do not want to get drunk. I don't like being non-compos mentis, having my wits about myself. I don't like feeling out of control. So
I'm just saying, you're making it sound like he's a raging alcoholic today, and yesterday I was kind of asking you those questions, and you're like a little defensive, like, no, we're not alcoholics.
I'm not.
We are not, you know. But you guys were both sober on Sunday, to your knowledge, because when I said you went and passed out, you were like, no, I didn't pass out, I just fell asleep. So now it's kind of like, what is it? Were you guys drinking and it got out of hand and it got physical?
No.
Or is it?
Sunday was one of the better days that we have had in quite some time. He's dancing with my dog. You can see that too on the pictures, him loving the dog. He loves the dog and dancing around, having a good time, and just being happy kind of thing. He doesn't know, I can get like maybe 2-3 glasses of wine, and I'll be fine. But I have to have my wits about myself because I don't know what to expect.
Well, let's talk about Sunday. What was Sunday? How were you, like, how many glasses of wine did you have? How many glasses of wine did he have? The bottle was gone. I mean, I don't know if you poured any out. Yes.
No, that was from previous.
You said that there was a half bottle left over.
Yeah, about this much.
And then that you had well, I don't even know how the wine, how'd you guys get the wine for Sunday?
I'm guessing he went to Publix. Does he
leave the house and you stay home, or do you go to Publix? Like, cause
sometimes I'll go with him.
Okay. Did you go with him Sunday to Publix?
So most of the time what happens is, because the convenience store where we get cigarettes is here, and then Publix literally is cattywampus to it.
Okay.
So what he'll do is he'll go by Publix, and then on the way back, catch the convenience store.
Okay.
So
is that what he did Sunday?
I'm guessing that's what he did, because the next thing I know, he's walking in with a bottle.
Okay.
So it's him trying to be nice, so I don't have to go out and do it. Plus, there's stuff that are around the house that I had to take care of. So that's usually what will happen. Or I'm folding laundry and he'll go run out and do whatever.
Okay. So, where were you guys at on drunkenness, not drunkenness on Sunday? You told us you weren't drunk.
No, I was not drunk.
Right.
I was not drunk. So with him, I don't know. I know when it's like, oh, okay, man, where I have told him, slow down. It's starting to catch up with you. Slow down. Slow down. And another thing, too, is I don't like listening to music with him because he gets too involved in the music, and the music that he listens to is a little rough around the edges, and, like, just, it makes me fractious listening to his music. So I kept asking him, let's just you and me talk. You and me will just be the ones that are talking, which was fine, because, I mean, we were playing with the dog, whatever, and then it's like, okay, now let's do the painting. We just did the puzzle, took a break, now let's do this. Sure enough, sat down, we're sitting in there talking, laughing, talking about new movies, we're watching movie trailers while we're doing painting and all that other stuff. So it's still background noise to him, because I think that's what he's used to, is having background noise, where me, I can sit in here all day with not a peep. But he always has to have some kind of background noise, which I didn't mind because the trailers were cool, and he was interested in showing them to me, getting excited about movies that were out or upcoming.
Okay.
So
on your laptop you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay.
And I mean, and then it was.
But you said it was a good day. Like, you guys didn't have any conversations about your relationship. You guys didn't go down like the rabbit hole, like had too many to drink, and you guys start getting.
No, when I tell you this, it made me so happy that he actually listened to what I had to say. With just, we'll get through it. This will be fine. It's a small hurdle that you and I together will get through, because.
I'm talking about the money, jobs,
daughters.
Stress.
Yes.
Nothing relationship-wise, though. Like, no issues. Like, did you guys have a conversation about your relationship, or was it just about
just
like
what's
the stress
going on right now?
Got it.
I try to evoke it from him so he gets it off his chest, because I call him the volcano, where eventually he's going to erupt.
Right.
And what he has learned in his classes is to communicate, which is a huge thing in a relationship, where he has been practicing communication. So he actually talks to me about things and unburdens himself. Put it on me. I'll sit there and try and figure it out for you, like I have almost everything. Not a worry. Just tell me. Get it out of you.
Right.
But it was, when I tell you, I was so happy. Like, it was such a good day. I kid you not. The weather was beautiful outside. I'm the one that had him go inside so we can do puzzles and painting and listen to music or whatever else he wants to do. So then he starts doing whatever it is we're doing together in the living room, and then starts talking, because I think he gets comfortable with, okay, you know what, we're here, it is a good day. Let me go ahead and explain myself. So I know. Nobody else knows, but I know. Nobody knew George better than I did. I say that I knew George better than himself. And I tried in every way, shape, and form. Ask everyone. I helped him. I took care of him. I miss him a lot, and I didn't even sleep last night. I miss him a lot.
I mean, is there any chance it got to be too much for you and you couldn't handle taking care of him and
I never stopped.
Trying to
I never stopped. Okay. That's what I'm here for. I never stopped. I'm here now because I'm still trying to help him.
Yeah. We just don't, I mean, it's unexplainable how he got these injuries, and
I have no idea.
You were the only one with him.
100% right hand to God. I have no idea how he got them. Nobody touched anybody. Nobody touched anybody.
Okay. You had mentioned that you would take photos, videos, kind of like a proof and just in general.
Yeah, I started documenting at one point, but that was way before, I think, the last time that he got arrested, where he was flying off the deep end.
Okay.
But then I had him bailed out. I got him out of jail.
Right.
but because he had violated the pretrial diversion, this time it's probation, so you don't have a choice in it. You have to go to see your probation officer. You have to go to these classes. It's court-ordered. Where it took him a while to get used to it and understand, they're not messing around. I even went down and met his probation officer, which I say she's wonderful. That's one of my questions too I need to talk to you about. Hugged me and said how much she knows that I take care of him. She called me personally one time when George was at work, when he was working. 42-minute phone call. She and I just saying how grateful she is that George has me. And she knows how hard I'm working to help him, just as she is and just as the classes will. So once he started actually going on a regular basis to the probation officer and then to his substance abuse class and his, I don't know what BIP stands for, Matters Intervention Program, and actually listening to what it is everyone had to say, he changed. Like I could see a change in him, where before lashing out, he would think about it. And would always come home and show me his papers, and we would look over his papers together, where it's like, wow, you actually are learning this in class? And some of the stuff that they would show them, like videos, he would come home and be like, Sarah, I'm so sorry for what I've done to you. Because for a video that he watches to make him feel that way, where it's like, oh man, I have done her wrong. But he's changed. He changed.
And that's why you're still with him, even though he's done all these things to you. And
when I tell you I love him, I love him.
Even when you love somebody, you have limits.
Everybody tells me that. All my neighbors don't tell me that. The office, property manager.
At some point, somebody gets enough, then they have to do something to defend themselves.
I would just flee, and I don't know if you would like to see it on my phone, or I think it's actually on a laptop. I actually, because, and you have to understand too, I have, like, prior to classes in PO, kicked him out. How many times? I had him arrested. How many times?
But you also went down and bailed him out.
I know.
The next day.
I know.
What's on your laptop?
What was I going to tell you? Oh, previously, I actually looked up how to file a restraining order.
Okay.
Because I would kick him out, his parents, because of them constantly having to take him back in, his bags of clothes, all his stuff. The last time, the father came out and irate and just not even, I don't even know if he knew Lucas was in the car. Just opened the back of my car and just started throwing all his crap in, just throwing it. Like the car would jostle, he was throwing all his stuff. At that point, because I continually did it, not continually, I think I maybe did it 3 times, and he has nowhere else to go, they got fed up and said, nope, either you're staying there or you're staying here. But if you're staying here at their place, it's permanent. You're not going back over there anymore. So what happens is, he pursues me. So I don't know if you all know where Katie Way Trail is. Okay, so it's literally right there from our apartment. Would ride his bike to work, but before he would leave extra early and come up to the wall, stand on top of his bike and poke his head over because he would know that I would be outside having my morning cigarette and cup of coffee. And I would also know too what time he would get off of work, where I would know, come getting off of work, he's going to do the same thing. So it's not like I ever got like a break from him, where I told you all yesterday, or whenever it was, I started to feel that it was too much togetherness. And when you have too much togetherness, friction happens. So I'm going to go ride my bike. I'm going to go upstairs and read a book. But every waking moment, he wants to be with me. So, and mind you, our townhome is either upstairs or downstairs. So it's like, if you would like to sit downstairs and watch a movie or play on the laptop, look up some jobs, you're more than welcome to. I'm just going to be upstairs maybe watching one of my shows or maybe reading a book. So, and then when that would happen, we really needed that. So what's for dinner? And then we would cook together and eat dinner and then crawl in the bed and watch a movie.
Are you talking about this is like recent? I don't. You kind of like lost me. Like when? What are you?
It was
talking
a while, like a little while ago. But
now you're talking about tension building up and that you need space. So have you been feeling that way lately, or
no?
Okay.
No. Okay. My thing is too, so you all know. Oh, I hate that you can't talk to her, but Dee, his ex-wife. When I say a monster, she's a monster. Like it does. She withholds their children from speaking to him. So he gets upset about that, and then she like completely berates him about money, about the father that he is, what he did to her, all this other stuff. It doesn't matter. I mean, mind you, this has not like been recent, but which is why he didn't even bother calling anymore, because he knows that she's going to answer and he's going to have to talk to her, so therefore he can't talk to his daughter. The other time he talked to her, made her talk to Cookie. That's on my cell phone too, so you can see it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter.
What does she have to do though with anything about what happened Sunday and into Monday? Like,
no, I'm just saying like previously why the incidents would happen is she plays a big part in it.
Okay.
On top of job and money and groceries and all that.
Okay.
Sunday, when I tell you this, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Is there anybody else at the house?
Nope, it's just me and him.
See, the detectives are just getting the information out of her of the past incidents. They just want to verify the past incidents, the past situations, to see this history, because they already have in the mind that she did this intentionally. And it was marks and bruises on his body that she doesn't know how they happen. And they're not buying it. They do this every day for a living. This is their job. They know that what she did was intentional. But she's trying to, play a mental game of talking and trying to tell them what she wants to tell them. But they're just allowing her to talk so that they can get the information out. And when they flip on her, it's going to be a different ball game. And we're going to bump it up a little bit and see what's going on here. Yeah, we're going to bump it up just a little bit so that we can see what's going on.
That's absolutely what it was. It's not an assumption. The video's there. We played it for you.
So you guys think that I intentionally...
You did. You got up off the couch and walked up the stairs and got into bed. That was intentional. There's no way getting around that. You intentionally did that. Nobody drug you up there. You didn't float up damn stairs.
Okay, well, it's not fair. It's not fair that you guys keep trying to say that that's what I did.
Well, that's what you did. That's what you did.
You didn't go upstairs?
Again, there was a hole in a suitcase. I unzipped it from the hole with one finger.
Well, the damn hole didn't do him no good, did it?
Not at all.
But he could push it open.
No, he
Did
couldn't. The video shows him pushing up. If he could push it open, why wouldn't he have gotten out himself? Why would he beg you to open it?
I tell you, he can't breathe.
Okay.
If someone can do something for themselves, they're going to do
this
it.
is
They
a
don't
video
need assistance
that
unless
she
they need
recorded.
assistance.
So, but why would he start doing it?
Because he couldn't, because it was all the way zipped.
Okay.
Didn't see it.
It wasn't. I intentionally didn't do it. That I intentionally did not do.
What's that? You didn't intentionally do what?
Zip it all the way. He nor I.
Well, he's dead as a result
lay
of your
hands
action.
on each other.
He is dead as a result of
I
your
understand
action.
that.
So,
That's why
You two didn't lay hands on each other.
No. No.
Yeah, he's dead because of
I
your
don't have
actions.
anything.
You're right.
He doesn't. Whatever that is, whatever it is.
He does.
See, this is what happens. It's not fair that you guys, just because he has those, automatically blame it on me. Like,
Like, well,
Where else
what
are we
about
gonna
when
go?
you had your injuries and he gets arrested? Is that not fair?
Really? Like,
It's
really?
the exact same thing.
Listen.
He has injuries. You have injuries. Like, what does that mean?
I don't have
She's trying to
injuries.
play
Correct.
dumb,
Because he and I have not been
but
at
they're
it
not
with one
going for
another.
it.
So every time that you guys fight, you both hit each other? So you should have probably
No.
gone to jail all those times that he went to jail
No.
for domestic?
Well, the one time I
Crazy.
did. But he completely trashed the police report. Because that's nothing what happened. Because the reason why I got taken in was because my story was different than his. So I'm being portrayed as like this abuser.
We're not saying that he doesn't abuse you.
Absolutely.
We're not saying.
So I'm the one that's being
But she
portrayed
locked
as
him in that suitcase and went upstairs and went
I
to
have
sleep.
never dealt with anything like this before. I don't know what to do, how to do it, and I always know what to do and how to do it. This, I don't know. So I don't know, like, what's going on or, like...
We are simply trying to find out as well. Again, we got one side of the story. You're telling us we're going with what you're saying, but then we find stuff that negates what you're telling us.
And I don't even remember doing that.
Okay.
And she says she don't remember doing
You're
that.
telling us that we're assuming stuff, but what we're simply doing
This is
is
a
telling you what we saw
homicide
in the
now.
video and
I
repeating what
understand.
you told us.
I understand. Because I don't remember that.
Okay? Doesn't mean it didn't happen just because you don't remember it.
So is the texting thing something about me? Like, what's...
They got the phone records.
Texting?
That privilege stuff ain't working in this situation.
No.
This is a homicide now.
You guys are scaring me, so, like, I don't know, like, what to expect. I mean, I had questions of things that need to be taken care of. Like, I don't...
What are your questions?
I have one last question. You realize you're the person that killed him, right?
I thought about that.
Okay, you left him in a bag when he's begging you, saying, I can't breathe, let me out, and you said, fuck you. And you got up off the couch and went upstairs and left him in that bag.
Not intentionally.
Again,
I would never do that to
That
George.
is intentional.
you did.
Not
It happened.
intentionally. Know that.
That's deep.
I don't.
Know that.
You got up and you went up to bed.
Alcohol is a shitty thing. It's alcohol.
So
Not,
alcohol
again,
is the reason that you killed him?
you all,
Please sit down.
listen to me.
Please sit down.
You all, listen. I did not intentionally kill him.
So your intention...
I don't know what it is I need to
punish
do
him?
or how to do it or what to say or how to say it.
But what was your intention?
Everyone knows. Everyone knows everything that I've done for George and love him and continuously helped him throughout his life with me and made him a happier, better person.
And everybody has their limits.
Everyone knows that.
Everybody has their limits.
So it's like, okay, so while we're in a good place
Everybody
right now,
has
I'm
their
gonna snap.
limits.
Is that what it, while we're in a good place right now?
You did.
Yes. Absolutely. I got
She's
you on
really
video
like
screaming,
sitting
"Fuck you."
here trying to
This is
justify
what it feels like when you're choking
leaving
me.
this man in a
This is what it feels
suitcase
like
Which
when-
and going
was
upstairs and
however
going to
long
bed.
ago.
She says this wasn't
got it.
intentional.
Videos was from last night.
Clearly,
So it wasn't that.
inside you.
Yeah.
there's still feelings towards it. You wouldn't say it if you didn't feel it.
But I would never do that.
But it happened, and you did.
But you
But
did.
that's after being playful
But no one's
and
laughing.
having a good day.
No one's laughing except you.
I would hate to
Everybody's
see
having
a
a
bad
good day. Oh, I'm sorry?
I would hate to see a bad day.
Y'all are making me out to be a person that I'm not. Or will I ever be.
Or are you a different person when you're drunk?
People have different personalities after they consume alcohol.
It depends.
Yes, they do.
Well,
Because you're sober now, so sober you.
Nice
Well, what about
person,
drunk
easy
you?
going.
not, it's both of us. It's both of us. And it's not fair that you all are assuming that the marks that he has on him are from me.
We asked you where they came from.
I have no idea.
Well, nobody else was there, so nobody else was...
I
So
have
you were the
no
only person
idea.
there.
I
And you left the
swear
man
I
in a
did not
suitcase
lay a hand
and
on
went
him.
upstairs and went
You
to
just zipped
bed.
them in the bag.
Nor he.
You just zipped them in the bag.
It's crazy.
And then you flipped the bag around.
This is crazy.
Several times.
I didn't do that intentionally.
You didn't intentionally flip the bag around?
No.
What?
Why would I do that?
Well, you
Good
told us
question.
you
You
did.
did.
When he was upside down.
Right.
Well, you had to put them upside down.
You can't get in a suitcase upside down
Yeah.
because the
Oh my
When
gosh.
you put the
See,
stuff
and that's the
in where his
unfortunate.
body was,
That's the unfortunate thing
was
too,
upside
is nobody else was there.
You know,
That's
she's
what
so
I'm saying.
used to
Showing
lying
The suitcase in several different positions.
in situations and just
So,
things go
it
her
shows,
way.
One, like
This is
she
a
just
homicide.
said, it
It's
had
a
to
different
been on his
situation.
back with the lid open for him to get in there, for you to zip it up. Then it shows it on the other side with him in it, so you had to flip it to there. Then there's another video where it's on his back again, so you had to flip it to
I'm
there.
leaving it like this, please. I'm leaving it like this. I did not intentionally do this. No malicious content or effort was towards this. No malicious.
I would
I'm
say
the point
this
of
is
the
that
video.
help you sleep, but you're not sleeping, so.
I mean,
The man died
Last night, I
as a
maybe
result
got
of her
an hour.
actions.
Right.
in your
She
voice,
can't
you
say
can
that she
hear the
didn't
maliciousness.
intentionally do
The
this.
fuck you is very, very...
And she
You don't
said,
talk to people
fuck
like
you,
that. That's not
while he
like a
was
common,
screaming
like,
and
hey Scott, fuck you.
crying
That's
to be
not-
let
it's
out the
not common.
suitcase.
It's not something people do. And no one that sees that is going to think that.
Okay.
So we were trying to give you an opportunity, and it is what it is.
There's no maliciousness towards
Okay.
that.
So I would probably be telling myself that too after that video.
My intent was not for that to happen.
But you went upstairs and went to bed. Or maybe you passed out, I don't know. whichever.
Waiting
That's
for
deep.
him. And the whole time frame thing, it's like, it's
Regardless.
that's not really fair.
Regardless, waiting for him, it's not like you walked up
What?
the stairs. You can't fly up the stairs. No
Come
one can
on,
take
man.
you up the stairs.
Okay.
You go up the stairs, you lay in the bed, and you wait for him. Who cares if it's 5 minutes? Who cares if it's 30 freaking seconds?
Crazy.
He's begging for his life. He's begging to get out. You go upstairs.
You leave him.
It doesn't matter. So get the time frame out of your mind. It
This
doesn't
whole
matter.
thing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because there's this, so it doesn't matter anything what it is I say. So it makes no difference whatsoever.
It's just you're lying and like you're not.
Yeah.
You're now changing
Who's
your
lying
story.
about what?
You're now you were drunk.
Oh, I never said that I was drunk.
Exactly, but you did here today. That's okay.
You said earlier.
Everything recorded.
Alcohol.
You blamed it on the alcohol.
You blamed it on the alcohol. Alcohol does a lot to people.
Yes, but I never said I was drunk.
Okay.
You did.
So you did this sober.
Yeah, the lion's not
You
working.
knowingly left him down there sober.
I have already told both of you also that we were both drinking.
Right.
Okay.
But you want to admit that you were drunk? Is that?
I'm telling you all both. This has changed my life.
Oh,
I
yes.
will take this.
Totally.
I
Going to
don't
jail
know.
for life.
Yeah. That's a true statement.
Absolutely. But you're trying to dance around the fact that
So,
you
but what
did
are you?
leave
Okay,
him there.
Yeah,
You left
and
him
she's
there.
trying
You
to
did
dance
try to
around the
dance around
fact
the fact. You left him
that
there.
This is not.
she killed him.
You didn't leave him in there?
It's not cool. Like, this is not cool.
It's not cool.
That it.
He's dead. It's
But
not
you
cool.
think that I did that intentionally? You
Why
think
else would it?
that I did that
You
intentionally?
leave him in the
You
suitcase and
intentionally
go
left him in there and
upstairs.
left the room. You went upstairs
Come
to
on,
a different
man.
room.
She
You
left the
intentionally did
man
that.
in the
You did.
suitcase
Yes.
and went
Because I'm
upstairs
thinking he's
and
gonna
went
get
to
out.
sleep.
Okay, and he didn't.
Obviously not.
When somebody's begging for their begging,
Come
saying,
on,
I
man.
can't
But when you
breathe.
say that though, but you have to. Y'all
Please
don't.
let me out. I can't
Y'all
breathe.
don't know George though. Like that.
Of
Again, I thought
course.
it was the boy
The
crying
man was
wolf.
begging
So
for
it's
his
just
life.
Like, what?
Oh, so if
Begging.
your son was in there and said, I can't breathe, are you going to open it, or is he 9, so he's not,
Really?
it's not a big deal?
Hey, Chad, what y'all think about this, man?
Oh, you said
She
you were
literally
never
left
put
the
your
man in a
suitcase. You could
suitcase
only put
and
George
went
in there.
upstairs and went to sleep.
No, George got in a suitcase.
It's deep.
Zipped it up.
Not all the way and not intentionally to leave him there.
Why would you zip
That's
the
what happened.
suitcase if it wasn't intentionally? Let's be real,
But you
man.
keep going away from
Come
it.
on, Chad. Let me know what y'all think about that.
You went up to bed.
So
Why would she
are
do
you
that?
all trying to have me admit that? Like, are you trying to have me admit that? Because I will never admit it because it's not true. It's not true.
I'm basically stating as a fact because that's what happened.
Okay.
You videotaped him asking to be let out. You go upstairs.
So what, guys? So what? Like, just, I don't know what you want me to say other than it was not out of maliciousness or intentional. I don't know what or how I can say it. I love George. Love him. To this day still. Love him.
Love makes you do crazy things.
It's not one of those things where it's like, oh gosh, you know what, I've done enough for you at this point. I never gave up on him.
Okay.
Why I'm here today, I'm still not giving up on him. I would do anything for him.
Well, you gave up checking up on him. So.
Wouldn't let him out of a suitcase.
Oh gosh.
And she don't want to admit that though. You left the man in a suitcase and went upstairs and went to sleep.
We're simply just trying to go through. I mean, again, you gave us a completely different story that you churched up to. This was such a laughing matter.
It was fun.
Not by that
all
video.
Day. All
Not
day.
by that video. That
all
part
day.
wasn't.
Hold on. Let me see. Let me see if I can go back to this damn video. Let me see if I can go back to this video here.
Why would you ever leave somebody in a suitcase that's begging to get out, that's telling you they can't breathe?
If I hadn't been drinking, you still think it would be the same thing? Where it's like, hop in, I'm going to go to sleep.
Well, it's on your phone, and you can either explain it or we take it for what it is.
Yeah. We're just trying to give you the opportunity to tell us what's going on. That's it.
It's that long?
2 minutes.
No.
This is literally the man begging for his life.
For everything you've done to me. Fuck you.
Listen to her. She recorded this.
And that's you, your voice.
Stupid. Sarah. That's my name. Don't wear it out. Sarah, I can't fucking breathe, man. Sarah. Yeah, that's when you do and you choke me. Sarah. Sarah.
I don't want to watch it, please. Okay.
Last time we talked to you, you had said that you put him in the suitcase, he had 2 fingers hanging out, and you
I
went
flipped
to bed.
him over. I flipped him over, and that's where it was.
And there's 2 different videos and a still picture where, yeah, it shows you flipping him in different positions, and him saying that he can't breathe, and you saying fuck you.
So this is upside down. So in order for him to have gotten into it,
She literally said, "Fuck you."
right.
While the man was begging for his life.
As if you're packing something. So this is upside down.
Guys, this is killing me right now.
So this image is upside down.
Wow.
And then this
It's
small
deep.
video that occurred 11 minutes later, it's flipped over the other way,
Wow.
closer to your dining room table.
Okay.
Now he's obviously still in there. So he didn't, how did it go from the back to the front?
I flipped it.
Okay.
My plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep.
Yes, it was.
Well,
That's what you did.
What you did.
But not intentional though.
No, you told me you went upstairs because you were
Stop
getting
here.
ready for bed.
Stopped here.
Okay, but
Where's here?
show me where you can see any fingers coming out, because there's the end.
And his head's right here.
Mm-hmm.
So going like this, rather than going all the way up, it's like this.
But why is he saying I can't breathe, and why is he pushing on it as if he can't get out?
And it doesn't show a hole.
There's no
gap.
hole. There's no fingers. I don't see his fingers. There's no hole.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I don't know, like, what you want
She
me to
thought
tell
she
you.
was going to
I'm
be
just
able to
showing
lie.
you. I'm just telling you what we see.
And
what
they
we've
weren't
heard
gonna
from
fact
him.
check it.
I understand.
He's
This is
begging
that privilege they
to
try to
for
do,
you to
though.
let him out. You're laughing in the beginning, and then in the end it sounds kind of like a...
No, it's not malicious.
Yeah, it is.
Well, saying fuck you.
It's not malicious.
Look at
Then
her.
what is that?
What is
You
fuck you mean
cannot
to you?
trust these kind of people, man.
Well,
Like if I were to tell my
like he
partner...
does. Like, I get called everything but a white woman, so
Okay.
My intention was not to leave him in there. Please understand that. My intention was not to leave him in there.
But you went upstairs thinking that he could get himself out, but the video shows
That's what I
at no
told
point
you.
can I see his fingers. And
He'll
it
be up
looks
here any
like-
minute.
And then 30 minutes later, he didn't show.
And he's telling you
And I
he
didn't
can't
wake
breathe.
up.
Do you
He's
think
not
he's
able to get out.
joking? You told me he was laughing, and I.
We were before.
The video, there's no
When we
laughing.
first got in there, both of us were.
So how long was he in there for? Like, this video is at 11:12 when it starts, so was he in there for like a long time prior to you recording this?
No. No.
So it goes from funny to no longer funny,
But
and
I
you're
didn't,
the only one laughing.
But I didn't think that he was, like, panicky. Like,
So pushing up on a suitcase saying, Sarah, 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 I can't breathe.
George has done that in the past before, too, where it's just like he thinks that
She
he's
is just trying
woe
to
is me
continue
kind of
to
thing, where it's
lie.
like, I don't
He's
think-
never been locked in a suitcase. That's
No.
where he couldn't get out. So
It's kind of, I thought it was
And
the
you know
boy
the oxygen
crawling
is
wolf,
something.
crying wolf kind of thing.
okay.
And again, my plan.
But nowhere in there is he laughing, is he joking. He is begging. And you're the only one laughing.
Okay.
And you're the only one saying derogatory comments. Like you're mad.
No. Please don't, I don't mean to sound negative, and I don't know if I can say this, but, like, it's like you guys are kind of trying to, like, feed me. Like,
No, I'm just trying to show you a video that you no longer want to watch because you probably don't want to know the outcome of how and what you said.
well, I know what,
You know what's on that video now?
No.
You remember making that video?
no,
Why don't you remember making the video?
probably because we had been drinking.
But you weren't drunk.
No. Just because I went upstairs and, just
You
because
told
you're
us-
drunk doesn't
you
mean
told us
that you,
several times that you
She
were not
tried
drunk.
it.
You said that you had your wits about you. You said he had his wits about you.
Mhm.
You said that you don't like not having your wits. In my experience, if somebody cannot remember doing something to the extent of making 2 videos and a video and taking a photo, they are intoxicated.
okay. I understand where you all are coming from.
Well,
I
we're
get
just
it.
trying to make sense of it. We're trying to
get it.
figure
Right,
out what
we're
you're
trying to
saying.
figure out this
You
video.
explain it to us. We're listening.
I just did. Like, we were playing, and then, like, I thought it was... My plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep. My plan was not to... He'll be up here any minute.
But
But
you
again-
willingly went upstairs and went to sleep. No one forced you to go upstairs and get
My
ready
plan
for
wasn't
bed.
also to leave him in the suitcase.
So
But
why
she
didn't you
did.
take him out?
Because I went upstairs, and then I fell asleep.
But why didn't you consciously think he's asking to come out? He can't
I didn't do it
breathe.
intentionally.
What do you think is going to happen?
She's trying to lie so much, man. I'm telling you, man.
Well, I thought by not giving it up all the way, it would be okay. My plan was not to leave him in the
And what was
suitcase,
your plan?
waiting for him to come upstairs.
And then when he did it?
It's like she's just trying to
fell
say
asleep.
anything
You said you were up
And
there
it doesn't
30 minutes.
work
After 30 minutes,
in a
somebody's not coming
homicide
up.
interrogation, bro.
Knowing that the last time you saw him was in the suitcase, 30 minutes later, you're like, maybe I should go check on him? Maybe I shouldn't?
No.
Yeah, she wanted
But
him
that
dead.
didn't cross your mind because
That's
it
like,
didn't
And what
happen.
that's
grown
like an
man
assumption.
allows
Like, that's what you all are thinking. Just,
them to go into
We're
a
asking.
suitcase.
It's the whole-
Yeah, like come on, man.
it's the drinking.
She
That's what it
definitely
is.
wanted him dead.
It's the drinking. I thought it was, like, I thought he was okay. Like, I didn't, that, you
He's
all...
telling you he's not. He's telling you, Sarah, I can't breathe.
Yeah, and she kept him in the suitcase and went upstairs and
Oh,
went
not
to
cool.
sleep.
That it.
He's dead. It's
But
not
you
cool.
think that I did that intentionally. You think that I did that intentionally.
You intentionally left him in there and left the room. You went upstairs to a different room.
You intentionally did that.
You did.
Yes.
Because I'm
Yeah.
thinking he's going to get out.
Talking
Okay,
way
he
too
didn't.
much,
Obviously not.
giving
Somebody's begging for the begging.
a whole
But
bunch
when
of
you say
lies.
that, though, but
That's
you
not
have to-
adding
y'all
up.
don't-
Let me out. I can't
Y'all
breathe.
don't know George, though. Like, that, again, I thought it was the boy crying wolf. So it's just like, what?
Oh, so if your son was in there and said, I can't breathe, are you going to open it or is... is he 9? So he's not, you know,
Really?
it's not a big deal. I'm just valid
Really?
question.
Well, you said you would never put your son in a suitcase. You would only put George in there.
No, George got in a suitcase.
And you zipped it up.
Not all the way and not intentionally to leave him there.
But that's what happened.
She's so used to talking to people that way and things going her way.
I don't know what you, I don't
That privilege.
Are
The
you all
homicide
trying to have me
investigation.
admit
Ain't no privilege.
that? Like, are you trying to have me admit that? Because I will never admit it because it's not true. It's not true.
I'm basically stating as a fact because that's what happened.
Okay.
You videotaped him asking to be let out. You go upstairs.
So what, guys? So what? Like, just, I don't know what you want me to say.
She says,
other
so
than
what?
It was not out of maliciousness or intentional. I don't know what or how I can say it. I love George. Love him. To this day still. Love him.
Love makes you do crazy things.
It's not one of those things where it's like, oh gosh, you know what? I've done enough for you at this point.
That's
I
what she
never
should
gave
have
up on him.
said. Call my lawyer.
Why I'm here today.
She got
I'm
in there
still not
trying to
giving up on
explain
him.
the situation. You can't
I would
explain
do anything
how
for him.
somebody died
gave up
and you
checking
left
up
him
on
in a
him.
suitcase.
Wouldn't let him out of a suitcase.
Oh gosh.
You can't explain this. This is unexplainable.
We're simply just trying to go through. I mean, again, you gave us a completely different story that you churched up to. This was such a laughing matter.
It was fun.
Not by that
All
video.
day. All
Not
day.
by that video. That
All
part
day.
wasn't.
And the way she's
Anybody
talking,
looking at it doesn't. I don't think
she
anybody
said it
will look
was
at that video and
fun.
go, George is having fun right now.
So why is it you all think that y'all don't know me, you don't know me,
Nope.
would do something like that, especially having a 9-year-old son?
I don't know.
Like,
what
why-
having a 9-year-old son would be.
Like,
Why are you so like caught on what we think
Yeah.
when
because
you should
it's
be more
like
concerned about what you've told us?
It's because
And
like you guys
The
are
fact
like
that George
trying.
is dead.
The things that the video shows that are opposite of what you told
Yeah.
us, and then what you've now
Like
told
what
us
is
here
opposite?
today. Well, you said that it was funny, and you're the only one laughing.
We were playing before that.
Okay.
But then it stops.
Yeah.
It obviously stops being fun.
Well,
Because you're screaming at him. He's
I'm
begging
not
to get
screaming
out.
at him.
Sounds like screaming to me.
I don't know what you
you
all
can't
want
explain
me to tell
yourself
you.
in the interrogation room.
In
All
no
you
way,
can
shape,
do
or form was
is
it
make the
intentional.
case stronger against you.
At all. Ever.
Okay. Are you still going to allow us to do your fingernails?
Go for it.
Go for it. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to get that set up.
Yeah, they're gonna get that set up before they book her.
Do you need any more water?
No, but when you come back, can I ask about this?
Yeah.
So what?
Just don't understand.
Yeah, she
So it was.
she didn't know
understand
how
how your
serious
story
it was
changes so
as she
much.
was in
So
there
the fact
talking.
How is it changing? Please help me explain. Understand.
You went on about how this was such a playful thing and you guys were laughing. And it probably was for a few minutes. But then it obviously changes. The whole demeanor of this whole situation completely changes. It's not the funny,
Yes.
laughing matter. He's not laughing at all.
I didn't think he was being serious.
You absolutely sound serious.
I
when you're
didn't think
answering
so.
them.
Like, just,
You don't think your voice, you sounded serious?
it's, okay.
What?
I don't know what you want me to tell you. It was a great day.
Okay.
It didn't end well, obviously.
I was going to say, that's, I mean,
I can't explain to you. I can't explain to you how horrific it was
okay,
to find him. Horrific. Because I don't remember taking those videos.
okay.
How horrific. I'm thinking he's in the bathroom. I'm thinking he's downstairs in the laptop. I can't find him. So what's going to happen? Like,
Here's what gets me, though, is you don't remember taking videos, you don't know where he is, you don't remember him being in the suitcase, and you're still telling me that you had your wits about you. How does somebody have their wits about him when
See, that's the
They
thing
have all
too,
this
but
stuff.
you can clearly tell that I had been drinking some. You can clearly tell.
I had several people that came up to me in that apartment complex said that you were drunk on a daily basis. And
Oh
you were
my
screaming
gosh.
at him
Right,
regularly.
right.
Really?
Right. Talk to the property
Really?
manager. Talk to the property manager.
Okay.
Because it's not,
These are your neighbors, the one that live next to you. Your property manager does not live next to you. They see you every day. How many,
Oh my
you had two neighbors you
gosh.
went to and asked to go
See,
use the
that is
restroom
just
and
not
you said
fair.
no. Hold on. You had two different neighbors that lived directly next to you. You asked to use the restroom and they told you no and turned you away. You had to go across the way to somebody else.
no, okay. Kim and Kim is not a nice person.
Okay.
She's just automatically not nice. Even after me and Lucas went over there and introduced ourselves, she's just not a nice person.
Then why would you think she would let you use a restroom?
Because Eli was in there. Eli comes over and talks to us sometimes, which I think pisses Kim off because he comes over and talks to us. The two of them, they're like super standoffish all the time. My neighbors down the street, down the way, their toilet was broken. They had stuff in the bathroom. So then they're like, go over there and try over there.
There's two bathrooms.
I
So
would
both
let
are
somebody go
bathrooms?
upstairs and use my personal bathroom. That's what the
Really?
downstairs one is for.
If it's somebody you like, would you? Or somebody you knew?
They're in the process of doing all this stuff in the kitchen, and there's stuff in the bathroom, and the toilet doesn't work. Just walk across the way, no problem. And of course they let me in. Them and them, they're together. They're families. And nonetheless, if you really want to know, and I hope it doesn't get them in trouble, but he is over here illegally. So he's trying to work on getting his green card.
Oh
What does that have to do
man,
with you using the
she
restroom?
tried to
They
throw
didn't
that
want to be
in.
involved.
They're about to arrest her for a
No, I was
homicide,
asking last night, 'cause,
and
you
she
know, I mean,
tried
we
to
had several
involve
people
somebody else's
that
immigration
Eli
status.
drunk on a regular basis.
Eli and Kim.
Thinking that was gonna help.
Okay. Did you ask Vinny next door?
Those are the ones next door that she asked to use the restroom, and they said no.
No, she said no.
Okay.
And like I said, she's not a
You
nice
have them?
person.
They're coming. What are your questions?
Yep.
I can help you with.
Who's coming?
To do the fingernails.
Yeah, you said that we could.
And you don't have to allow us to do it, just so you know, so don't think that it's.
I don't have a
forcing you.
problem.
Okay. Just make sure.
So, am I getting my phone back?
No.
Not today.
What about Lucas's laptop?
No.
Not today.
Not today.
What does that mean?
We're still going through everything.
Oh, that's fine.
You're the one just telling us there's videos that we need to see on it, so we need
That's
to do
fine.
our due diligence that we go through everything.
See, and that backfires on me now, too, because now you all think that I had even more, in quotes, intent to do what I did to him, which was not intentional.
What's that?
In that. Is that correct?
She's asking about your tag in your hand.
No, but I'm asking if that's correct.
No, I'm not gonna
We're not
agree to
making
anything that you're saying. I'm not, that you're.
So, his probation officer,
Mhm.
do you all inform her, or do I need to call her?
We don't have to inform her, so if you would like to call her, you can. Are you saying because he's still on probation?
No, but because of the nice lady that she is and all that she's done for him, I didn't know how it was.
Legally, we just have to tell his parents, and we don't go telling,
Everybody else?
I didn't even know who his probation officer was, so no, I wouldn't go tell.
So the same thing for classes. I need to do that too.
Classes? You need to do what?
Substance abuse class and his battery
cancel them?
intervention.
Yeah, we
Something
don't
else I
have
was
to
just
call
getting ready to
them.
ask. So, other than this, so initially, what was the cause of death?
She is still pending because she wants to hold the body for an additional day to see if more of those bruises turn into something bigger. And she's doing some other tests that she's got to do. So she's pending it for now.
So, and that couldn't have been because of him being in the suitcase? Or y'all are saying that I physically did it?
That's what she's determining.
So,
The ones on the head, I asked her, could that have been from the suitcase, and she said she didn't think so.
I didn't touch him, nor did he touch me.
Okay.
I'm leaving it at that.
Okay.
So, I don't know if you all know how to do this, because so that's what I was get ready to ask you. So are you all updating his parents today, or when you get final whatevers?
What does it matter what we tell his parents? What do you mean?
Right.
Because
Because what?
We're gonna talk with them.
Yeah.
okay,
I have to
but it's going to
like,
come down to me.
Nah.
What do you mean?
It's not
Like,
coming down to you.
So it's being put on me.
Who said that?
But I'm not, so what is it you would tell them?
We're gonna give them an update, just like we gave you an update on their autopsy.
Okay, so it's whatever
Well,
bruise,
here's the thing.
whatever on the head.
We had to deliver news to them last night that their son was dead. There's not a whole lot of conversation that goes on after that. It's not a very easy thing
Was
to
it
do.
yesterday or Sunday? Sunday. Today's Tuesday, right?
Did we not meet you yesterday? We met you yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm just asking. Right? Did we not meet yesterday?
It's a valid question.
Really? Yes, on Monday.
Okay.
Got it.
Perfect.
So I don't know if I ask you guys or how I find this out other than talking to his parents, which is not going to happen.
Yeah, probably a terrible idea.
How do you guys suggest me finding out about funeral?
Yeah.
That's not even something that's been probably talked about between the family. That's not something we ask. We have no way of...
I didn't know, that's why I'm asking. So...
It'll be up to them to make the arrangements of what they want to do. Like she just told you this quick, just being told last night, I'll pretty much be willing to wager that they have not even considered what they're going to do.
His body can't even be released,
No.
so...
I've been there with parents, grandparents, and uncles. So I don't know if I have the right to or not, but like I was going to call his former employees whom he really cared for and let them know.
You can call whoever you want.
I just don't want to do something that I'm not
Her
supposed to.
concerns is just concerning.
How do I go about getting his wedding ring, engagement ring?
It's at the medical examiner's office. It'll come to us eventually, and then
It'll be released to the next of kin.
Yeah. Okay.
I bought it for him.
Okay.
That is a civil issue. It was on his finger. It goes to them. They're the ones that are going to release it. We don't have any say in that.
So I won't get that back. So for all of this, like, how do I find out what's what and how many, like, what's been found?
What do you mean?
Pillow with stain, swabs of stain from pillow, suitcase.
That will all be sent off to
FDLE.
FDLE, Florida Department of Law Enforcement. They do their testing.
So, and then, like, whatever white can with blood and necktie with blood was from the suitcase.
Correct.
Why would you guys, you'll see it in there, the baseball bat for Lucas and the receipts. And this is just his phone, my phone, and then the laptop.
Yeah, when anything can be released, we will release it, but we are very early in this investigation, and it's not an overnight process, unfortunately.
So, what's next?
They're going to come and swab your fingers.
No, I'm talking about, like, in the long run. Like, what do I need to, like, do I need to be doing something, or, like...
I can't tell you, like, what to do.
I mean, like, so, like, for... Like, I don't understand, like, I don't know if you guys are just gonna, like... Because it makes it sound like, to me, like, I'm being accused of something that was not intentional. I'm being accused of it.
Mm-hmm.
And a handful of other things that I'm being accused of.
Okay.
So I don't want to be at home with Lucas and you guys show up.
Okay.
I understand that.
So...
we're still investigating. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
So is there going to be concrete whatever it is, and then it's like, okay, this is what it is kind of thing? Or like, because I've done the whole court thing. I've done the whole attorney thing. I've done whatever. So if I'm not admitting anything about being intentional and I killed George.
Okay.
That's not the situation, but it's trying to be pinned on me.
Okay.
That was not my intent. But it's trying to be pinned on me. So however or whatever it is I need to do in order for that to be proven, then I need to do so, which is why I'm trying to get my ducks in a row.
You already done said enough.
So that's why I'm asking what the
Too
next
much.
step is other than me getting my nails swabbed.
I mean, you want me to
I don't see
tell
them letting her
you
walk out of here.
how to not be accused of a crime? Is that what you're asking? Like, I don't know what you...
I'm trying to prepare myself for whatever may need to be done so I can, I guess, stick up for myself.
I mean, I think you're doing just fine. You came, you talked.
I just don't want you guys to, again, show up and Lucas is in the house.
Well, we did tell you yesterday that we don't want to do anything around your son, hence why you came to us. So I don't know why you think that's going to change.
That and or me not just show up back home.
I'm sorry, what? That or what?
Me just not show up back home. That's what, he's so happy that I'm staying over at the house with Brian. Like, so happy. And I'm not going back to the house, to my house, for however long I can stay over here because of whatever to blow over.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if you don't mind me asking, so for whatever it is you all are claiming from the videos, which, yeah, is that what you're going to tell them? Like his parents? It's like, oh yeah, and by the way, she did.
Did what?
I mean, what would you tell them?
I don't think it really matters what we're going to tell the parents.
Oh yeah, it is. It's fuel to the fire.
Well, we can't hide things, and I don't know. I'm not saying we're going to go. I'm not saying that we're going to go and tell them every single thing we have. But again, this is the Orange County Sheriff's Office, that's public record, so eventually, like, this all will come out.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not, you're making it sound like we're going to tell them something, so then your life is in danger, and I don't like that accusation.
No.
So, let's just nip that in the butt right now.
Well, that's what's going to happen.
I cannot
What are we going to tell them?
But we can't even, so technically there's no concrete report yet, even.
Right, so
it's,
you want me to, like, tell you exactly what I'm going to tell them. I don't know what I'm going to tell them. I don't know what I'm going to tell them. Let's just leave it at that. Just like you don't know why you went upstairs. I don't know what I'm going to tell them.
So,
Parents that are dealing with
can I call you the way that I did last time?
Yeah, my phone is an open line. Missy should be here. I don't know what's taking so long.
What's coming out to look into.
I get it. Look, I get it. That looks really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what scares me. Like, what do I need to plan on? Like, what do I need to plan on?
Getting arrested.
I promise you, on my son's life, it was not intentional. I promise you, on Lucas's life, it was not intentional.
I don't know you. I can't say I know anything about you. I don't know what would be a true statement, what would not. I mean, you're promising on your son's life, that's fine.
That's how much it means.
Sorry.
That's how much it, look, that's how much it means.
Okay.
I hope you take that to heart. Please.
And it's documented that you said that, yeah. I get it.
Do you have any idea when I can get my phone back?
Never.
What did you say?
I just said no telling. I mean, our digital forensics unit is got a lot of cases on their plate. I mean.
Well, and that's not technically my laptop, it's Lucas's laptop.
Okay.
But he plays, you'll see all the games that he has on there.
As soon as we can get that back to Lucas, we will. As soon as we can release your phone, we will. But we have no way of being able to tell you because we don't have control over their caseload and how they arrange what they do. So I don't know. And at this point, I think, honestly, with everything else that's going on, that should probably be at the bottom of your list of worries.
Yes. You're worried about the wrong
I'm
stuff.
trying to make Lucas happy so he can have his laptop back.
Like, her personality
Did Brian
is the
not have a
worst.
laptop for him? He has his laptop that he has to do for work, that he doesn't want him using it or breaking or dropping. It's not a big deal. There's nothing on the laptop anyway.
She took this situation way too
So
lightly.
you will keep me posted, like updated.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing, is I'm trying to figure out what I need to do in the meantime.
Definitely don't know how to be quiet. Talks too much.
I don't know what to tell you, though. Like, what?
But you all have more information than I do, where it's, yeah, you might want to, or yeah, you might want to.
I'm sorry, what?
Like, we have more information on what?
Like,
We told you everything that we have. You know everything that we know. And most of it we got from you.
Right.
but that, like I was telling her, like, yeah, that's bad. Like, which I swore in my son's life was not intentional. So that's why I'm trying to figure out what I need to do for myself.
Okay.
Going forward with this, nonetheless, with his family. And are you all just showing up with Lucas in the house?
I think we've already both told you that we would be mindful of any situations.
Crazy.
So you guys, I guess you're going to call me tomorrow? Or do we need to come back down here?
I'll chat with you next time. I have no idea when I'm going to call you next.
Isn't the report coming out tomorrow?
No.
What report?
I'm just saying a report is generated through us, and the sheriff's office is a public entity. So if someone were to come request something, then...
No, I'm talking about his autopsy.
She's waiting and doing our follow-up, but...
She's looking at him again tomorrow.
Yeah.
But she won't be finished with him because she's pending for other stuff.
So after this, what? I'm done? For now?
She just acts like she does not understand the
How long
severity.
does this stuff take to get back?
Just keep talking.
Most of that you won't get back. The swabs and stuff will stay.
But I'll know about it?
Sorry. Our dispatch center keeps calling my phone, and I keep having to have other people call them to see what they need.
I hope you all can really both truly understand that that was not my intent. I miss him a lot.
I mean,
No more.
but my question has remained the same. What do you expect to happen to somebody when you leave them in a position like that?
Yes, but you have to understand too. I know.
No, just what would you expect to happen to somebody when you leave them in a position?
I had no idea because I've never done it before.
Why have you never done it before?
Why would I?
Exactly.
Why would I
did
do it before?
Why did you do it now?
I clearly have said why.
No, you don't know why. You just know that it's not intentional, but you don't know why. But that's okay.
Really?
I'm not trying to force you to say something that you don't know.
It's feeding and petting. The fact that you guys would assume that I'm that kind of person.
We're not assuming anything. We're going by the facts. It happened.
Like you said, you don't know me. What time is it, please?
4:46.
In itself, for me to have to live with getting him out and doing what I did is punishment enough. I think that's why I haven't slept, because that's all I see. So that right there says something. Not my intention.
This is fine. I'm just barely touched her. Well, that would be very random. I was like, I literally heard the beep and I was like, that would be really weird.
Nonetheless, I have to live without him now.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
Yeah.
Punishment in itself.
Yeah. Definitely a tragic situation.
I am through with alcohol. And it's unfortunate that stupid things like this happen.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Nonetheless, I have to live without him now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. His daughters too.
Are you trying to make it worse?
Sorry, what?
Are you trying to make it worse?
Make what worse?
How I feel?
So this
Just making a comment. I mean,
CSI that was there yesterday. I think she took your photos.
So I'm just going to take a swab and go around on one hand and then do a separate one for your other hand. Okay? Right hand.
What do you mean?
He asked to swear. Remember how I swore you yesterday on the audio recording? I just forgot, so he raised his hand to remind me, to tell you.
Okay.
Do you promise and swear that everything we talked about today has been true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
For which
True
everything?
and accurate to the best of your knowledge.
What, that it wasn't intentional?
Everything you've
you
said
told
today, everything that's come out of your mouth has been true and accurate to the best of your knowledge.
To the best of my knowledge.
Correct. Yes.
Why?
Because
That's how
anytime
you
we talk
swear.
to somebody, we want to assure that everything that we've talked about is,
True and accurate to the best of that person's knowledge.
it's not a trick question,
To the best of my knowledge?
to the best of your knowledge.
Everything that you've told us today is true and accurate to the best of your knowledge.
Yes, but it was not intentional.
Okay. Okay.
All right, do me a favor, stand up. I need you to turn around, face the wall, put your hands behind your back. Do you have anything in your pockets that I should know about?
No.
Okay.
Why is this happening?
Because George is dead.
Not intentionally.
We understand that.
He's still dead.
Well, we don't
Someone
really
needs to
understand
call Brian, please.
Okay.
Or can I not make a phone call?
You'll be able to make a phone call when we get you down to the jail.
So
You'll
why
be
is this
afforded.
happening? So this was a trick?
No, it's not
No,
a trick.
not
How's
a
this a
trick.
trick? I'm in here to ask you to explain a few things to us. And
You were read your rights.
your response to everything was basically, I didn't do it.
Intentionally.
I have to go through that.
Doesn't matter. He's still dead. Do me a favor. Have a seat.
Really, guys?
Really.
So if I didn't show up? Why is
You're
this
trying-
happening?
Because
Before y'all said I could leave,
when
that I was done after this, after that.
we were done, yes, we were done. Absolutely.
So now, so that's what it is,
We are done.
right? Not intentional.
Okay.
So what am I supposed to do now?
You will,
Someone needs to call Brian.
okay.
Lucas is waiting for Mom to come home. This was not my intention. I thought I was waiting for you all to come and figure out what's what and how many.
That's what we're trying to do.
And I was going to be able to go home and see Lucas. Now he's just not going to have me come home. So there's nothing that I can do.
All right, no.
There's nothing that I can do in order to go home and see Lucas and prepare.
Not right now, no. You'll be afforded a time in court. You'll be afforded an attorney. You'll be afforded a chance to talk to a judge, and all that stuff will be worked out.
But what's the time frame for that, though?
I have no way of being able to tell you. You should make first appearance probably by tomorrow morning, if not tonight, depending how things are busy, how quickly you get down there. I
had a
don't work
sneaky
in there.
suspicion this was going to happen. And I need water, like, really bad, please.
Have a seat.
You all checked me down here.
Absolutely did not.
I just got those.
Okay. They are not allowed in the jail.
So I can't even smoke cigarettes if I go.
What? Am I good on that? She is like that.
And what am I supposed to do with my car?
You'll be fine where it is. When you get down there, you'll have free phones, you'll be able to call.
What, as soon as possible?
Yeah, once you get down there, get booked in, you'll be able to use a phone in the waiting
But how
area.
long will that take? Because I need to talk to Brian.
You know, it depends how busy, how quickly they get you through. I probably would say within the hour. It's a free phone call in the lobby. It's a free phone call.
All I'm doing is bringing you there, sign this paper, and you're going to
She has no clue.
So can I ask you, or whoever it is, those holding cells, the holding cells, am I going to be put in one of those?
I don't know.
Last time I had a panic attack.
Okay. Let them know that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you're familiar with the big bay. As long as you go in and you act civil to them, they'll set you in the big bay. And you'll be left there for
Can
a
you
while.
request that while I'm there?
No, that's not up to us. We don't work at the jail.
As long as like he's saying, if you don't
If
act
you go
up,
in and act like this, you'll go in and they'll put you in the big bay. If you go in there screaming and kicking and yelling and
Why would
cursing
I
at
do
people,
that?
I don't know. I'm just letting you know that's what happens. That's how they weed people out. If you go in acting like this,
So I asked for the big bay?
they'll put you there as long as you're acting like this.
Yeah, because the last time I had a major panic attack on those little things.
Hey,
let them know.
change the cuffs. Call it
Go ahead, stand up.
I have not.
So what am I going to do with my purse? Oh, sorry.
Your purse is going to come, but the cigarettes and stuff can't, so.
I put the lock up too, my bad.
Oh, no, it's all good. Mine are the opposite, so.
What made you all decide to do this?
Made us decide to do this?
Uh-huh.
George is dead.
You guys, I knew this was going to happen.
You did? Okay.
So I came down here willingly.
Yes, absolutely. We were trying to figure out what's going on. We're still trying to figure out what's going on.
Unintentionally.
Well, intentional or not, George is dead. You act like when you say unintentionally, that absolves you from everything.
I need to get, I have my, I don't know if it's able to be or not.
Oil, then. I apologize.
No. I have things in my car that I need to
Okay.
put your,
What kind of stuff do you have in your car that you're worried about?
well, I have my medication.
Okay, they have a pharmacy there, so if there's something that you have to have right away, you'll be seeing a nurse.
It's panic attack stuff.
Well, again, when you get checked in, you're going to be seeing a nurse, and that they have a pharmacy there, so they'll be able to take care of any kind of that stuff. That protocol is out of my realm. I don't work down there, so I don't know, but I do know they do have a pharmacy, and that you will be afforded to see somebody. Okay?
All done?
Yes, ma'am. I said no. My bad.
No.
Now, she really thought that they were going to let her go after she admitted to zipping the suitcase up and going upstairs going to sleep. She really thought they were going to allow her to go home. Oh, man. And she talked so much. She just blatantly told everything the detectives needed to know. But she thought she was smarter than them, but she was quite dumb. And she felt that she was privileged enough to be able to go home. She asked a question for everything she thought of. My car, my son, the laptop. What's going to happen next? And clearly, she didn't understand this process. And this process here, they sat there and just continued to talk to her for 2 hours. And guess what? They already knew that they was going to charge her with the homicide. She tried to continue to tell these people that it wasn't intentional. Oh, I didn't do it intentional. Well, they said, well, why did you go upstairs and go to sleep? Oh, I didn't mean to go upstairs and go to sleep. Yes, you did. You went upstairs, you went to sleep, you didn't care. The man died. Oh, man. It's a sad situation. And it's a situation that cost somebody their life. Okay, let me see. Let's see, the ex-husband testified. Let's see what the ex-husband says in testimony.
Swear to affirm the testimony you give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes. Sir, good afternoon. You could be seated. After seated, if you could please state and spell your name for the record for us.
Brian Boone, B-R-I-A-N, B-O-O-N-E.
Thank you, sir. You may inquire.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Can you tell us how it is that you know the defendant?
I dated her for quite a while, and then we eventually got married.
When you say you dated her for quite a while, how long are we talking?
I met her in the late 90s, and I believe it was around 2005 when we got married.
Did you have any children as a result of your marriage with the defendant?
Yes, we had one son.
And how old is that son?
He is currently getting ready to turn 14.
Did your marriage with the defendant last?
No, it did not.
And approximately when was it that you separated and began proceedings for divorce?
Probably 2017, I'm thinking maybe.
And at that time, when was your divorce actually finalized?
Maybe it was 2016. I think the divorce was 2017, I believe.
And after your divorce, what was your custody arrangement with your son that you had in common with the defendant?
She was supposed to have him on Mondays and Tuesdays. I would have him Wednesday, Thursdays, and then we'd alternate Friday through Sundays every other week.
So 1 week you would have 5 days with your son, and another week she would have 5 days with him.
Correct.
And was this still the same custody arrangement in February of 2020?
Yes.
And in February of 2020, did you have, do you recall the events that occurred, I guess, first on the late evening of February 23rd, 2020?
On that evening?
Yes.
Well, apparently, Sarah called me at one point during the night.
Do you recall about what time she called you?
I think it was 11 something.
When you answered the phone, how did Sarah sound on the phone?
She sounded like she had been drinking and was pretty drunk.
Were you able to understand what the defendant was saying?
Somewhat, but she woke me up. I had work the next day. I was asleep when she called. She's done this before, calling me late at night, and generally I kind of just try to ignore it, so I wasn't really paying attention.
Who was she living with at the time?
George Torres.
When she called you late that evening, could you hear George in the background at all?
Not that I remember, no.
Did you pay much attention to this phone call?
No.
Now, the following morning, on February 24th, 2020, did you begin to call the defendant?
Yes, I did.
And approximately what time did you begin to call the defendant?
I think it was like 11 o'clock or something.
And why was it that you were calling her?
Well, it was going to be Monday. I had him on Sunday and dropped him off at school, and I was calling to try to find out if she was going to be actually picking him up that day.
Why would you have a question about whether or not she was picking him up?
She wasn't generally very good about actually getting him on the day she was supposed to.
So it was not uncommon for you to have to remind her to pick him up or to make sure that she was going to pick him up?
Well, I mean, remind or just find out if she was going to, or if she was just going to give him over to me as what happened.
Do you remember at what time on February 24th you actually got in touch with the defendant?
I think it was like 12:30 or something.
And when you actually got in touch with her, what did she tell you on the phone?
That George was dead, and if I would come over.
Did she say what happened to him?
I don't remember if she told me then on the phone or when I got there, but she told me they had been playing hide and seek and that she fell asleep.
What did you advise her to do?
I told her she needed to call 911 and that I would come over as soon as I could.
And this is on your first phone call here at approximately 12:30
Yes.
on 2/24/2020.
Yes.
Did she call you again while you were en route to her residence?
She did. She called to find out if I was still going to be coming over.
And when you spoke with her while you were en route, what, if anything, did you advise her?
I told her she needed to call 911 and told her I was on my way, but she needed to get somebody over there.
How long did it take you to arrive at her residence?
From the first phone call, or?
Yes, from the first phone.
Well, I mean, I live a minute or two drive away, but I had to get my puppy. We had just gotten a puppy recently. I had to get him in his crate and stuff like that and put something on because I was working from home. And total time, maybe 10 minutes.
When you arrived at her apartment, tell us what she told you when you arrived.
George was dead, and I don't remember if she told me now or before that they had been playing hide and seek and she fell asleep, but I at that time told her again she needed to get 911 called to get somebody over there.
Had she called 911 at this point?
No, she had not.
So you've advised her now 3 times to call 911.
Yes.
Did you go inside of her apartment?
I walked in the front door into the little tiled area, like entranceway thing.
What, if anything, did you observe when you made it to that point?
Looking into the living room, I could see like the end of his feet and maybe a little bit of some legs that were kind of coming out around the backside of the kitchen area.
Did you continue to go into the apartment?
No.
Where did you go?
Sarah told me she was going to call 911 and go outside and have a cigarette and a drink and asked me to come out there with her, and I told her that I didn't really feel comfortable being inside, and I went out front and got in my car and waited for people to show up.
Did you witness the defendant call 911?
I think I was in there when she dialed it and first got somebody on the phone, but I wasn't there for the whole conversation. No, I was outside.
Did you stay there at the scene while police arrived?
Yes, I was there. I was part of it. I knew I'd have to talk to somebody, so
Did you talk with law enforcement?
I did.
Your Honor, I have no further questions at this time.
Thank you. Any cross-examination?
Judge, we want to reserve our questions for when we call in our case.
Okay. All right, sir. You're subject to recall.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. She did it. She admitted to it, and they gave her life, man. She got what she deserved, and this right here is the suitcase that he put himself in, and she zipped it up.
When he cheated on her, when he choked her, and to hold him there as a captive audience, according to her testimony. Now he has to listen to me. Well, right out of the gate, there are credibility issues. Cheating to me means viewing pornography. Well, we saw cheating really means women. And the heated conversation on June 14th about these women in Facebook. And that is what leads to the arrest on June 15th. He's out whoring, Candy Crush, all the bizarre things that you see in her phone. He uses the legal system as a weapon at times. There's no denying that they are engaging in violent behavior, and it is over nonsense. It is smashing TVs. They call the police, and then they're standing there looking bewildered about what to do and who to say, and laughing and joking. Ladies and gentlemen, the courtroom is the place for justice, not a suitcase. The reason we have a jury system originally started with the idea that the king, the crown in England, shouldn't be able to go and incarcerate citizens on his whim. So it developed into a system where citizens would have to say, yes, you can take our fellow citizen. But the opposite is also true. A citizen cannot take another citizen's life because he or she feels like it. That likewise requires a jury to decide that it was objectively reasonable for a person of ordinary prudence and caution. Like Mr. Cacciatore argued earlier, battered spouse syndrome is not a license to kill. Past grievances, even being stabbed in the leg, so on and so forth, do not give her the license to kill. There are still laws in place about when and how this can be done in a justifiable manner. I want to talk about the most important jury instruction in this case that has not been discussed very well, or thoroughly, excuse me. However, the use of deadly force is not justified if you find that Sarah Boone used force to initially provoke the threatened use of force against herself. And we'll stop at that comment. The facts of the case that came from her own mouth, if she is to be believed, and we will explore thoroughly why you should disregard every bit of her testimony, from court to the detectives, to the 911 operator, to the doctors. Her testimony, if it is to be believed, the most favorable light that she has presented of herself, is that at the end of a Sunday fun day, where we are drinking, we're outside by the dartboard, we're doing puzzles, we're doing arts and crafts, and there finally comes a point in time where we're going to play hide and seek. And he says, tag, you're it. Even though she's it, she goes upstairs, hides in the shower, eventually gets tired of being there, it's cold, so on and so forth, and she comes back downstairs. And as she comes back downstairs, she can see Mr. Torres fiddling to place himself inside the suitcase to try and hide for this game. And the lid is not closed and it's flapping. And out of jest, out of levity, undisputed according to her testimony, she comes over there and zips it shut. Whether it's 100% or enough for 2 fingers to get out, that is something that you decide as the jury. But there came a point in time where the fun and games was over. And Mr. Torres told her that. Babe, I can't breathe. Sarah, babe, let me out. This is all on video. We don't have to imagine this. This is all on video, 1062. At that point in time, she is using force against him that is not justified. She is the initial provocateur. She is the aggressor under the law. And what level of force is it? I can't breathe. Not let go of my hand, not get your hands off me. I can't breathe. This is no different than 2 people, maybe they're buddies at the bar, similar to an example that was given by Mr. Owen, who are wrestling, and one has another one in a headlock. And there comes a point in time where the person on the receiving end of the headlock says, that's enough, I'm tapping. George Torres was tapping, and she ignored it. And she was kind enough to tell you why. Out of anger, which translates to hatred, ill will, spite, just like that in jury instruction for second-degree murder. She told you exactly why. She got angry. Him saying, I can't breathe, babe, was what triggered her. Not a fear of imminent harm. Those are her own words. That is the law. These are the 2 paragraphs that solve this equation without getting up on a big whiteboard in college that's 30 feet long, 15 feet high, and a ladder, and somebody's scribbling Latin words and Greek letters for months and months to solve this huge, complicated equation. The equation is solved in 2 paragraphs. She is the initial aggressor. He is saying, I can't breathe. It is no different than a naked chokehold that she does not let go of. And she told you it's because I want him to listen to me. This is my bully pulpit. This is how he made me feel in the past. She doesn't describe it as teaching him a lesson, but that's exactly what she says. I want him to feel like I felt in the past. I want to tell him things. Ladies and gentlemen, we can play semantical games, but that is teaching him a lesson. Therefore, we have to look at the other 2 paragraphs. Because right now, plain as day, the use of deadly force is not justified if you find that Sarah Boone used force to initially provoke the threatened use of force against herself. And what force are we talking about? Well, the threat of force that she tells you she was facing was him fighting for survival. Him sticking his fingers out of the suitcase. Him sticking his hand out. That is the threat of force, coupled with, I'm going to end you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, she is the initial provocateur. She is the one using deadly force against him. If I have somebody in a rear naked chokehold, they are entitled to use deadly force against me to break that chokehold, at least until we're separated. He had every right to say what he said. He had every right to exist and stick his hand out and try and survive to breathe another day. However, the use of force is not justified if you find that Sarah Boone used the force to initially provoke the threatened use of force against herself, unless she does one of 2 things. And she did neither. Not even close. The threat of force asserted towards the defendant was so great that she reasonably believed that she was in imminent danger of death or great bodily harm. All right, let's give her absolutely every benefit of the doubt, which you should. This is a criminal prosecution. The state of Florida has alleged she committed murder. You need to do everything you can to look for reasonable doubt. But a reasonable doubt is not an imaginary doubt, a forced doubt, speculative doubt. So accepting that all of their past history, accepting the doctor's testimony, and the limitations on what they reviewed compared to what we reviewed. We did a much more thorough review of the relationship than any of the doctors did in this case. So let's give her that first clause. Because of their past relationship, with George now fighting for his right to exist and saying that he will end her if he gets out, we'll give her that. But just like Mr. Cacciatore mentioned earlier, lawyers' words mean things to us, and they mean things to everybody, but really to us. Or an and. There's an and. Had exhausted every reasonable means to escape the danger other than using deadly force on George Torres. She did not use every reasonable means to escape the danger that now, after provoking him, that he was presenting to her, according to her. She didn't pick up her cell phone and start walking, call 911. She didn't do anything other than, if you believe that is why she called Brian Boone, made a phone call to Brian Boone, and unfortunately because of past history, he just ignored her drunken phone call. She did not exhaust every reasonable means to escape this danger that she created. She started it. She created this. Other than using the deadly force on George Torres. Now, this is a weird situation. This is not a rear naked chokehold. This is a suitcase, or as Mr. Cacciatore said, a box, or actually more aptly described it as a coffin. And when you secure somebody into a box or a coffin, you can still exert that deadly force on them from a distance. I'll give you a quick example from a couple of movies that I love. In 1977 in May, a movie came out, it's called Star Wars. They eventually called it Episode 4. In the first scene, there is this large, imposing figure that wears black armor. He is a government agent, and he is looking for some stolen classified documents. He picks a man up who he believes is responsible for this treachery and breaks his neck and chokes him to death when he doesn't tell him where the plans are. We all understand that. That is direct force we all understand. But what we need to understand is the force she's exerting from the couch, and then when she goes up to bed, she is still exerting that force on him. She set these implementations into motion and did not stop. So later in this movie that came out in 1977, another co-employee of this dark, imposing figure, Vader, insults his religion. He does not go to HR. He takes matters into his own hands and chokes this person from a distance. Ironically, while we're talking about force, it's the force. And then in the subsequent movie, he's like doing it from his office. He's killing his incompetent employees on different ships. Force, deadly force, can be exerted from a distance in this situation. So whether she's on the couch or whether she turns in for bed, she is still using that deadly force on him. She has not exhausted every reasonable means to escape this danger. Do something. You started this. You put him in the position where he cannot breathe. She's required by law to do something about it. Not something, everything. There was no efforts in this case. None. Or, in good faith, Sarah Boone withdrew from physical contact with George Torres and clearly indicated to George Torres that she wanted to withdraw and stop the use of deadly force. But George Torres continued or resumed the threatened use of force. That did not happen. She never withdrew from physical contact. She is still, like Vader, choking him from the couch, choking him from bed. She never withdrew that force. Physical contact includes any restraint on George Torres' movements. She never indicated that she wanted to withdraw. Sarah, babe, I can't breathe. All right, if I let you out, are you going to come out peacefully? Since I started this, I'm the one that made you not be able to breathe. That didn't happen. So ladies and gentlemen, this entire analysis about deadly force starts and ends there. She was the provocateur. These are her obligations when she starts it. She put him in fear of death. He is literally telling her, I cannot breathe. A couple other things about the law. Second-degree murder does not require a proof of intent to kill. Argument was made repeatedly that she didn't intend to kill him. That has never been the state's suggestion. Because why would we suggest we prove something that we don't have to? It's not her subjective belief. Well, Sarah Boone doesn't believe that this suitcase can kill him, even though he's repeatedly said, I can't breathe. It's a person of ordinary judgment who would know, is reasonably certain to kill or do serious bodily injury to another. A person of ordinary judgment who hears, I can't breathe, babe, Sarah, and his voice gets weaker 9 minutes later, you're on notice. This is statutory notice. Done from ill will, hatred, spite, or evil intent. Her words speak for herself. This was not out of fear. This was out of hatred and anger. Born out of all those horrible things that has been done to her and done to him. Understand it. We're not going to belabor the past. Is of such nature that the act itself indicates an indifference to human life. Well, I don't care that you're saying you can't breathe. Fuck you. That's my name. Don't wear it out. Fuck you. It's second-degree murder. We do not have to prove the intent to kill. We have to. She intended the act. She intended the act of zipping him shut. She continued to intend that act when he said, I can't breathe. That act resulted in his death. That's a manslaughter, but then when you add in the hatred, ill will, spite, and the depraved mind, that's what makes it second-degree murder. And that 2-minute video is the textbook definition of depraved mind as we define it here in Florida. Voluntary intoxication is not a defense. You cannot feel sorry for her because they had 2 1.5-liter bottles of wine and then some from the leftovers from the day before. And quite frankly, she's blackout drunk. She's blackout drunk. She doesn't remember making the videos. She turns her phone over right to the deputy the next day because she doesn't know what's on it. She doesn't remember doing it. Another thing that we just haven't talked about much is her story. She can't be up in the shower hiding and taking a picture at 11:03 p.m., 9 minutes before the video. That portion of her story just doesn't add up. And what it shows is it's more like 20 minutes instead of 11 or 12 minutes that we know he's trapped in what turns out to be his coffin. Let's talk about her testimony at trial. And we'll talk about all the problems. A lot of her issues predated her relationship with Mr. Torres. So it's not attributable to the trauma from Mr. Torres with all the luggage she brought into the relationship. And listen to the way she talks. It's not splitting the bills, it's helping without argument. It's not cleaning up and doing Sunday chores, it's cleaning up so we can relax. It's a reward. She talks about him like he's a child. I need to lead him to the next activity from one to the other. And then you saw the videos, and I'm not going to belabor it, that we showed in rebuttal, but the relationship and the power dynamics speak for itself. He was treated like the third dog. And it might very well have been a dog that bit and was violent, but he was treated like a dog. Why are you leaning against my door? Get out of here. Go downstairs. You're worthless. You're garbage. They showed the part of the video where he slaps the phone, but that's after 5 or 6 minutes of being berated and dehumanized in a way that nobody should be treated.
He just wanted to get in bed and lay down next to his fiancée. Instead, get away from the side of my door, you useless dog. I thought it might be a good point in time to listen to the music. You know, when does Mr. Torres get to decide what to do? I mean, she paints this picture that he goes off and does all these things on his own, goes and buys wine when he's not supposed to, does all these things when he's not supposed to, but when does he get to do what he wants? Suitcase downstairs for a week so they can donate it. What was in their lives that was preventing them from getting that suitcase to the Goodwill or whatever? Neither one of them worked. What's going on? Lucas is over there on Mondays and Tuesdays. The story about the suitcase having already been down there is quite suspect, and we will get into that more. But again, it's not we went on a trip together, we had a great time. It's, I quote unquote, I recently took him on a trip. Then it comes down to the moment of truth, which we've already gone over. And it's just quite frankly inconsistent because she doesn't, there's no explanation for the picture. Her explanation at trial when I brought it up to her was, I just don't remember. I don't remember this period in time from the picture at 11:03 to when I was supposed to be coming down the stairs. There's a major glitch in her matrix. She shakes the suitcase, please stop doing this to me. And then his hand gets out. Now she's the point in time when she gets angry and doesn't do what the law requires after basically choking him with his coffin. Beats him into submission with the bat and turns it back over. For the first time ever at trial, she says, I'm going to fucking end you, is what he said. She never told that to even her doctors. We've heard the arguments why she didn't tell the truth to the police and all that. And there's a lot of truth into the argument that was made. There's a lot of truth. When the argument is made that she didn't understand self-defense, what that means, what it comes across as, she makes this story change as she learns about it. When we apply the jury instructions to her statement, all 6 of them apply against her. Won't belabor this since it was discussed earlier, but did the witness have an opportunity to see and know the things about which the witness testified? Even at trial, she admitted that she was intoxicated for the first time. She went back and forth with the police about whether or not she was intoxicated and her standard of drunkenness and whatnot, but she was so intoxicated that she still felt the effects of it at 1 p.m. the following day. The medical examiner told you that alcohol dissipates in the average person. Everybody's different, tolerance, all sorts of things come into play, but on average, 0.015 grams per deciliter will dissipate every hour. So you can do the math. 0.015 times 14 puts her at 2.5 times the legal limit. For those reasons alone, you should not believe anything she told you. You should not believe anything she told the police. You should not believe anything she told the doctors. She was at 2.5 times the legal limit. She has a gap in her memory that's unexplained when I brought up the photograph at 11:03. You can't have it both ways. I don't remember 11:03 to 11:12, but I was upstairs in the shower hiding. Does the witness seem to have an accurate memory? Well, this ties into what we're talking about. But again, there's a glitch in the matrix, 11:03 to 11:12. Her memory is not accurate. By her own admission, I don't remember. She tells the police when they show her the video, I don't remember that happening. Was the witness honest and straightforward in answering the attorney's questions? I submit when we got off script, and by we I mean both, with both attorneys, she wasn't as honest and straightforward as when it was a very directed and smooth examination. I came out of the gate with something that was off script. Tell me about Pamela Erickson. Tell me about Christine. Tell me about Crystal. Because she's the one that said cheating to her meant pornography. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know, she knew exactly who those people were, and that she believed that he was cheating on them with her. And apparently she is too, with some guy named Ben. When I describe this as a violent, nonsensical relationship, that's exactly what it is. It's not to downplay the violence. She got stabbed. She had minor surgery. It got infected. Those injuries are real. But they just don't apply in this case. They just don't apply when you use that self-defense instruction when she's the aggressor, if it's to be believed.
Judge, object.
Approach.
She wouldn't let him out. Therefore, all of the instructions above that paragraph of however do not apply. They do not apply. Now, turning back to what I was saying, did the witness have some interest in how the case would be decided? Well, of course. 3 out of 4 panels that y'all came from indicated to the judge fear of punishment was more important than the fear of public speaking. It speaks for itself. She has an interest in the outcome of the case. Now let's talk about, does her testimony agree with the other evidence in the case? You do not have to accept this story. Let's pretend, as you should, because all 6 of these things, we haven't even gotten to the inconsistent statements. Let's pretend her testimony doesn't exist, and you just have to look at the circumstances. The testimony from the defendant is George Torres' head is here. You can stand if you need. You've been sitting a long time too. His head is here. His butt is kind of down here. His feet are here. And his hands and his knees are up here. He's in the fetal position, if we remember right. The hematoma on his head is on the left side. The bruises, the deep bruises on his back, are on his left side. You hear that? That's solid. You don't have to accept that she put those marks on him when he was in there. The evidence doesn't support it. You can conclude she used this bat when he was outside the suitcase. You don't have to believe her when she said they were playing hide and seek. You don't have to believe her because she doesn't know the rules. She came downstairs, saw what she had done, and had all the opportunity in the world to clean up whatever mess may have been at the bottom of the stairs. But ladies and gentlemen, physics doesn't lie. She can't expect you to believe her testimony about the loud boom being the day before compared to her 2 neighbors who weren't drinking, who have no interest in the outcome of the case, who suffer from none of the infirmities of her testimony. She suffers from all 6 infirmities. When her neighbors say there was a loud boom that night, there was a loud boom that night. Did it shake the wall they shared in common? It shook the wall that they shared in common. Did she have any injuries consistent with being dragged up and down the stairs the night before? No. You saw the pictures the CSI took. You don't have to accept her story about hide and seek. Something made that loud boom. It takes energy to make a loud boom. Energy that could very well be in the form of somebody going down some of the stairs, all the stairs, in the suitcase, out of the suitcase. But that's what the evidence supports, is there was a loud boom that shook the walls and interrupted a FaceTime conversation that was so loud that the girlfriend on the other end heard it. Something loud happened. And then there was silence, according to the witnesses. And they can argue that Juan Torres' testimony was great for them. It's great for the state. She was screaming at him already at 7:30 p.m. She was already on her bully pulpit. And we know she doesn't need to put him into the coffin to get on her bully pulpit. There's video after video of her on her bully pulpit telling him how it's going to be, how you're going to live your life. Go take a walk. Do this. Do that. You don't have to accept anything she said. It's inconsistent that he received the hematoma to his head, his bloody mouth. How is his mouth getting bloodied inside the suitcase? That's protected from her and her bat. But that suitcase, a 100-pound drunk woman is not beating through the wood of that suitcase or whatever it is that's making that noise when it's thumped. Ladies and gentlemen, those injuries happened outside of the suitcase. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody or something went down those stairs. She has no injuries consistent with going down the stairs. He does. He has blunt force trauma all over him. You don't have to buy her story, and you shouldn't. The inconsistencies, I'm not going to belabor it. Your dinner is waiting in back. Let's just briefly talk about the experts, and we'll move on to the end. Dr. Brandon was absolutely fantastic. He explained everything that you all needed to know about battered spouse syndrome. And this isn't about whether one of them or both of them had battered spouse, because at the end of the day, she's the initial aggressor, and she had the duty to do the things that the law requires. But it does call into question the credibility of the past power dynamics of their relationship. Those videos speak for themselves. The officer in the last video asks him, dude, you're a guy. Why don't you do something about this woman, your wifey, who you don't want to rat on for beating you? It's like, man, I'm not a beefcake. I'm not going to rat her out. There's countless examples, if you apply Dr. Brandon's testimony to Juan Torres, that really shows you the power dynamics of the relationship. He was her violent pet. Dr. Harper, I don't find much quarrel with what she says about battered spouse syndrome, and nobody should. I mean, she's the expert. But she's not Ms. Boone's treating physician. She's not her treating psychologist. The way it was described in argument, and I believe from Dr. Brandon's testimony, was she's supposed to be a forensic detective. Get to the bottom of this. She's going to come in here at trial and tell you her opinion you should rely upon. With 9 visits, she never asked the defendant what it is the victim said that put you in imminent fear of death or great bodily harm. That's the crux of the matter, Doc. You're never going to ask her what it is he said or did for this grand jury instruction about threat of force or use of force? It's remarkable. And, you know, she didn't review everything that was presented to you. At the end of the day, it's your opinion that matters about this relationship. And again, we agree with Dr. Werner. It doesn't matter. She had the duty to retreat. She had the duty to take the chokehold off. And if it was too dangerous for her to directly take the chokehold off, she had the duty to do something else, everything in her power, to stop him from dying, because she started it. She set it in motion. She used the force grip on him from a distance, the couch and from bed. It was her obligation to stop. She didn't. But Dr. Werner, she was called by the state of Florida after having evaluated and listened to the defendant give a similar story and concluded battered spouse doesn't apply. So she was never asked to delve any deeper into it. Given the information that she did have, the limited information, she agrees. Yes, Ms. Boone has battered spouse syndrome, but it doesn't apply to the case because she was the aggressor and she did not fulfill her obligations. And really just your gut common sense. Go back to jury selection. In jury selection, there was examples about bullies day after day doing something to somebody. And somebody raised their hand and said, don't they have to do something that day? Don't they have to do something that day? And he didn't. After he was put in fear of death and told her he can't breathe, the imminent threat of great bodily harm and death she is describing to you is him fighting for his life to escape. She did not fulfill her obligations. There's details that matter. And again, not to belabor it, I mean, the evidence in the body-worn camera and the 911 calls, it's not offered to prove the truth of the matter as who stated what. Who knows what happened between these two? You see them with the police. Can't believe anything they're saying. It's not offered to prove that she's a bad person. It's not offered to prove that Mr. Torres is a bad person. It's simply offered to call in question the reliability and credibility of what she said about the past. That's all that it's there for. But there are some nuggets and some Easter eggs. There was an argument made during closings that Mr. Torres knows not to do anything when being videotaped. Bizarrely, shortly thereafter, they showed a very edited clip of him attacking her and slapping the phone out of her hand. He knows he was being videotaped, and there was another video like it too. So to make the argument that he doesn't do anything, he's a good boy when he's being videotaped, it's belied by their own argument. They showed one of the videos. Learned helplessness. She seemed to control everything. I mean, his birth certificate, it gets torn up when he doesn't comply with her wishes. And you'll see the rest of the text messages if you choose to delve into them. But I would suggest you don't have to, given the jury instruction about aggressor. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a long 2 weeks, and you are making a very, very important decision for Ms. Boone, and a very, very important decision for Mr. Torres and the state of Florida and his family. He's dead. She killed him. She's admitting she killed him to have this affirmative defense if I was justified. It was not justified under our law. She does not get to decide that she has a license to kill because of her past grievances. The law requires her to stop using the force that she started applying to him. And she didn't. She didn't withdraw. She didn't tell him he was withdrawing. She didn't use every means available to try and stop this from happening. She didn't. And you know what was in her heart. She tells you it's hatred, ill will, spite, and venom. This is not a self-defense case under the law. Go back and follow the law. You cannot feel sorry for her. You cannot feel sorry for him. You cannot feel angry at her. You cannot feel angry at him. It's maddening to see their relationship. It is maddening. Nobody would want this life for yourselves or your children. It is violent nonsense, but it does not affect what she did and what her duties were under the law that night. She wanted to punish him. She did.